Chapter 38:10. At the same time, the undead gathered outside the city were also looking at Snow Queen with anticipation. "Look at your eyes, it's like I'm lying to you." The madman directly took off his clothes, exposing his upper body, and laughed. "Open your eyes wide and look, is it exactly the same as Qin Feiyang's potential imprint? It can't be painted on, right?" The ghost demon king walked up and reached out to wipe the imprint on the madman's chest. Hey, hey, hey. Just look, don't touch. Aren't you taking advantage of me? I'm not interested in men, especially an old man like you." The madman hurriedly slapped away the ghost demon king's hand and quickly took a few steps back, staring at the other party with a vigilant look. When the ghost demon king heard this, his face couldn't help but turn black. "Little bastard, what nonsense are you talking about? With so many undead watching, you want to ruin my reputation?" "It's true." At this time, Snow Queen finally came back to her senses, tidied up the dress on her chest, turned around and looked at Qin Feiyang and the madman, took a deep breath, calmed down the shock in her heart, and looked at the ghost demon king. "It's actually true. Pills can actually open the door of potential? It's obviously a fantasy story, but now it's in front of us. It's too shocking. How many pills does this person have that we don't know about?" Before the Phantom Demon King could say anything, the undead outside the city were already in a mess, and there was a lot of noise. The Ghost Demon King came back to his senses, looked at the undead outside, and then looked at Qin Feiyang and the madman, and a trace of shock appeared in his eyes. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly, took out another 2 potential pills, and handed one to the Myriad Poison Demon King and the other to the Ghost Demon King. "Huh?" The two looked at Qin Feiyang in astonishment. "Seniors, don't be nervous, it's free." Qin Feiyang grinned. "Free?" The two were stunned, and there was a trace of joy in their eyes. Looking at the eyes in front of them, they were quite impressed. He was indeed a sensible young man. Very good." The Phantom Demon King laughed hoarsely and said, "How can I accept that?" Yes. It's as if we like to take advantage of others." The Myriad Poisons Demon King nodded and chuckled. Although that was what they said, their hands were very honest as they accepted the potential pills without any hesitation. "Hypocrite!" Madman muttered. The Myriad Poisons Demon King and the Demon King's expressions stiffened. They glared fiercely at the madman and coldly snorted, "We're in a good mood right now, so we won't argue with you." Hence, the two of them immediately consumed the potential elixir and asked the Chaos Royal City for help. Very soon, they had also successfully opened the first door of potential. The Divine King of Primordial Chaos, who was secretly watching, was also very shocked. Even for an existence like it had never heard of a pill that could help a living being unlock the door to their potential. It immediately relayed the news to the Divine King of Chaos, who was in seclusion. In the main hall, the Divine King of Primordial Chaos suddenly opened his eyes. He was also shocked and asked, "Really?" The weapon spirit of the Chaos Royal City said, "It's absolutely true. Snow Queen, Phantom Demon King, and the Myriad Poisons Demon King have all opened their first door of potential. The value that these little fellows have shown is truly astonishing time and time again. From now on, you must take good care of them. They really have the possibility of changing the future of our Sky Bell Divine Treasure." The Divine King of Primordial Chaos said. "Understood." The Chaos Royal City responded and then asked hesitantly, "Are you not going to come out of seclusion and ask them for some potential pills?" Cough, cough. "I am the dignified Divine King of Primordial Chaos. If I lower my head and ask them for the potential door, how can I establish my prestige in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure in the future?" The Divine King of Primordial Chaos coughed dryly. "Then you still want it. You just can't put down your face." The Chaos Royal City laughed mockingly. You talk too much. Don't disturb me if there's nothing. The Divine King of Primordial Chaos said angrily with a dark face. It's not that I want to criticize you, but how much is face worth? Aren't you comprehending the ultimate meaning of the law of life and death now? If you can open all the potential doors, I guarantee that you will get twice the results with half the effort. The Chaos Royal City said. That's true. When the Divine King of Primordial Chaos heard this, his heart couldn't help but waver. The Chaos Royal City said, if you really can't put down your face, I will go and look for them. Forget it. I will go personally. That will show my sincerity. The Divine King of Primordial Chaos shook his head and then frowned. He said angrily, why do I feel that we still have to curry favor with them now? There's no choice. The other party's value is right in front of us. The Chaos Royal City chuckled. Can you not gloat over my misfortune? The Divine King of Primordial Chaos said helplessly. The Chaos Royal City laughed. It's hard for me not to gloat over seeing the high and mighty Primordial Chaos Divine King of Primordial Chaos lowering his status to beg others. Scram! The Divine King of Primordial Chaos's face darkened. With a wave of his hand, the potential door slowly opened with a rumble. Qin Feiyang's group of 5 on the city wall heard the commotion and turned to look at the door. Wasn't the Divine King of Primordial Chaos in seclusion? Very soon. The Divine King of Primordial Chaos appeared at the door. He looked up at Qin Feiyang and said hesitantly, come here for a moment. She was actually a little nervous. This wasn't her personality. What is she doing? Madman was suspicious. Qin Feiyang thought for a moment and transmitted his voice. Maybe the Chaos Royal City told her about the potential pill. I will go and take a look. Behave yourself and don't continue to provoke the Spirit Demon King. Aren't you worrying for nothing? I am not stupid. I know my limits. Madman rolled his eyes at Qin Feiyang. It's good that you know. After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he looked at the 3 demon kings and cupped his hands. Excuse me. Go ahead. The 3 of them smiled. The Divine King of Primordial Chaos had called Qin Feiyang over. Would they dare to stop him? Moreover, the 3 of them had a better attitude than before. Qin Feiyang rushed to the entrance of the hall like lightning and stood in front of the Divine King of Primordial Chaos. He cupped his hands and said, Greetings, Senior Divine King. No need to be so polite. The Divine King of Primordial Chaos waved his hand and smiled. How have you been these days? Did Feng Tian and the others make things difficult for you? Qin Feiyang was stunned. He called him over just to ask about this? Obviously not. Because if it was purely out of concern, there was no need for the Divine King of Primordial Chaos to come out personally. Not to mention the Divine King of Primordial Chaos who was in seclusion. It's fine. Feng Tian Demon Theta Wang and the others didn't make things difficult for him. On the contrary, he was the one tormenting the 3 of them. That's good. The Divine King of Primordial Chaos nodded. Qin Feiyang looked at the Divine King of Primordial Chaos who wanted to say something but stopped. He couldn't help but find it funny. He clearly wanted the potential pill, but he only asked some unimportant questions. However, the Divine King of Primordial Chaos was so strong that he shouldn't need the potential pill. Wait. The law of life and death. That's right. The Divine King of Primordial Chaos was comprehending the ultimate meaning of the law of life and death, so she must be more eager than anyone to open the door of potential. Because after opening the door of potential, she would be able to achieve twice the result with half the effort. With that thought, Qin Feiyang decided that since the Divine King of Primordial Chaos was too embarrassed to ask, he would take the initiative. This way, he would be able to gain the favor of the Divine King of Primordial Chaos. Senior, please wait for a moment. Qin Feiyang said hurriedly and turned to run toward the castle. The divine king of primordial chaos was stunned. This kid is smart. He must have seen through your thoughts and didn't want to embarrass you, so he took the initiative to get the pill. The voice of the royal city of primordial chaos sounded in his mind. Did I make it very obvious? The divine king of primordial chaos was stunned. Otherwise, how could Qin Feiyang see through her thoughts? What do you think? You're just short of writing the words "I want the potential pill" on your face. The royal city of primordial chaos teased. The divine king of primordial chaos expression froze. It was really embarrassing. Not long later, Qin Feiyang ran out with a jade box in his hand. Under the expectant gaze of the divine king of primordial chaos, Qin Feiyang opened the jade box and said with a smile, "Senior, these are all the pills to open the door of potential." These pills were naturally refined by Dan Wangkai. And there was quite a lot of them. All of them? The divine king of primordial chaos was shocked. This was far beyond her expectations. She thought that Qin Feiyang would at most give her 2 or 3 pills, but she didn't expect him to be so generous and give her all the pills at once. Wait! Suddenly, the divine king of primordial chaos realized an important point and said in surprise, "You mean that every door of potential can be opened with pills?" "Yes." Qin Feiyang nodded and said with a smile, "And there are no side effects." Amazing! Even the divine king of primordial chaos couldn't help but exclaim when she heard this. "Then," she said with a smile, "then I won't stand on ceremony." Then, she took the jade box with a smile and looked carefully at the pills inside. She said in surprise, "Why are some of the pills different?" "These pills are divided into several levels. In short, different realms require different pills." Qin Feiyang smiled faintly and was about to explain in detail, but felt that it was too troublesome, so he said, "It's quite complicated. Why don't you let me help you open the door of potential?" "Okay. Come in with me." The divine king of primordial chaos nodded and led Qin Feiyang into the main hall without hesitation. Boom! Soon, a series of loud noises could be heard from within. About an hour later, Qin Feiyang finally walked out of the main hall, and the smile on his face was even brighter. After helping the divine king of primordial chaos open the door of potential, she would definitely take care of him in the future. For example, the divine king of primordial chaos must have told her about his public transaction with the undead on the city wall. However, the divine king of primordial chaos didn't mention a word during the entire process. Obviously, she had tacitly agreed. Since the divine king of primordial chaos had tacitly agreed, he naturally didn't have to worry about anything and could go all out. Meanwhile, Snow White Theta Wang had been on the city wall the whole time, standing together with Madman and looking at the main hall. Seeing Qin Feiyang come out, the three of them couldn't help but be curious. After staying in the main hall for so long, could it be that he helped the Divine King open all the doors of potential? The Divine King asked me to tell you that in the future, you Demon Kings are not allowed to force Qin Feiyang and the others to do anything they don't want to do. You're just short of writing the words "I want the potential pill" on your face. The royal city of primordial chaos teased. The divine king of primordial chaos expression froze. It was really embarrassing. Not long later, Qin Feiyang ran out with a jade box in his hand. Under the expectant gaze of the divine king of primordial chaos, Qin Feiyang opened the jade box and said with a smile, "Senior, these are all the pills to open the door of potential." These pills were naturally refined by Dan Wangkai. And there was quite a lot of them. All of them? The divine king of primordial chaos was shocked. This was far beyond her expectations. She thought that Qin Feiyang would at most give her 2 or 3 pills, but she didn't expect him to be so generous and give her all the pills at once. Wait! Suddenly, the divine king of primordial chaos realized an important point and said in surprise, "You mean that every door of potential can be opened with pills?" "Yes." Qin Feiyang nodded and said with a smile, "And there are no side effects." Amazing. Even the divine king of primordial chaos couldn't help but exclaim when she heard this. Then, she said with a smile, "Then I won't stand on ceremony." Then, she took the jade box with a smile and looked carefully at the pills inside. She said in surprise, "Why are some of the pills different?" "These pills are divided into several levels. In short, different realms require different pills." Qin Feiyang smiled faintly and was about to explain in detail, but felt that it was too troublesome, so he said, "It's quite complicated. Why don't you let me help you open the door of potential?" "Okay. Come in with me." The divine king of primordial chaos nodded and led Qin Feiyang into the main hall without hesitation. Boom! Soon, a series of loud noises could be heard from within. About an hour later, Qin Feiyang finally walked out of the main hall, and the smile on his face was even brighter. After helping the divine king of primordial chaos open the door of potential, she would definitely take care of him in the future. For example, the divine king of primordial chaos must have told her about his public transaction with the undead on the city wall. However, the divine king of primordial chaos didn't mention a word during the entire process. Obviously, she had tacitly agreed. Since the divine king of primordial chaos had tacitly agreed, he naturally didn't have to worry about anything and could go all out. Meanwhile, Snow White Theta Wong had been on the city wall the whole time, standing together with Madman and looking at the main hall. Seeing Qin Feiyang come out, the three of them couldn't help but be curious. After staying in the main hall for so long, could it be that he helped the divine king open all the doors of potential? "The divine king asked me to tell you that in the future, you demon kings are not allowed to force Qin Feiyang and the others to do anything they don't want to do." Chapter 38:11. I'm sorry to have kept the three seniors waiting. Qin Feiyang flew over and landed beside Madman. He looked at the three demon kings and smiled apologetically. However, he was puzzled. He had already helped them open a door of potential for free, so why were they still staying here? Could it be that they wanted him to open all the doors of potential? "It's fine." The three of them waved their hands. The divine king of primal chaos had already told them. What else could they do? What else could they do? Qin Feiyang smiled and looked at the undead outside the city, saying loudly, "Everyone has seen it, right? I didn't lie to you. As long as you find a law inheritance, you can come and trade with me at any time." Snow White, Theta Wong, and the others had personally tested it. Of course, they wouldn't doubt it. Of course. The potential pill is a matter for later. The most important thing now is to get rid of the undead body. So, everyone, don't waste time here. Quickly go and find the herbs. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly. "What herbs do you need?" an undead spirit asked. Qin Feiyang said without blushing, "There are many herbs for the undead barrier-breaking pill. There are hundreds of them, and each of them is extremely precious." "What? You need so many?" Everyone was stunned. The three demon kings also had a look of shock. Madman looked at Qin Feiyang, puzzled. Didn't the undead barrier-breaking pill only need 3 kinds of herbs? "Senior brother, you don't understand. The more complicated and difficult I make it, the more they will feel that it is worth it to exchange a law miniature for it. They will even think that they have gained a huge advantage." Qin Feiyang laughed secretly. "Cunning." Madman looked down on him. "This is called a psychological attack. Not only do we have to get enough benefits, but we also have to earn a good reputation so that they will feel grateful to us." Qin Feiyang transmitted his voice. "Look at what you are saying. We are good people to begin with. Madman was dissatisfied. Qin Feiyang's mouth twitched as he said helplessly, "You are even more shameless than me. Don't talk nonsense and ruin my reputation." Madman's face darkened. "You still have a reputation to ruin?" Qin Feiyang was amused. The word shameless was perfect for Madman. Immediately after, he looked at the departed spirits outside the city and said with a smile, "Although the departed spirit barrier breaking pill requires a lot of herbs, I'm a righteous person. There are many herbs that the Sky Bell Divine Treasury doesn't have. If I ask you to find them, it will be difficult for you. Therefore, I've decided that I will provide the other herbs for free. You only need to find the extreme Yang Thunder Fire, Yin Yang Wood, and Death Fruit." Righteous? Free? Madman rolled his eyes. Who was the shameless one here? He was obviously trying to dupe her, yet he made it sound so dignified and righteous. "Why aren't you blushing?" Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I didn't expect the ingredients for the undead spirit barrier breaking pill to be so difficult to find. Brother Qin is truly a good person, to actually provide it to us for free. Brother Qin, don't worry, we will definitely remember this favor forever." As expected, the undead who did not know the truth shed tears of gratitude. "I'm fine. We're all friends. Quickly go and look for it. After you find it, come to the Chaos Royal City to find me." Qin Feiyang waved his hand. "All right. Everyone, quickly disperse. Don't make a fuss here and disturb Brother Qin's meditation." Those undead who had condensed their physical bodies roared one after another. At that moment, the undead outside the city dispersed and quickly left in groups. This news spread from 1 to 10, from 10 to 100, and very soon, it spread out. The Sky Bell Divine Treasure immediately became a craze to search for the extreme Yang Thunder Fire, Yin Yang Wood, and Death Fruit. "Brother Qin, are there really so many ingredients needed for the undead spirit barrier breaking pill?" Spirit Demon King looked at Qin Feiyang in disbelief. "How can this be fake? If there aren't many ingredients, how can there be such a heaven-defying ability?" Qin Feiyang was helpless. "That's true." Spirit Demon King nodded and frowned, "But there are so many undead in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. Do you have so many ingredients?" "This junior doesn't have much, but I have a lot of ingredients. After all, this junior is an alchemist." Qin Feiyang smiled. "All right, I was worried for nothing." Spirit Demon King smiled bitterly. "No, no. Senior is also concerned about this junior." Qin Feiyang hurriedly waved his hand and turned to look at Frenzy. "Senior brother, ask the old ancestor to come over and help us set up a time array here." "Set up a time array here?" Frenzy was stunned. The three demon kings also looked at Qin Feiyang in confusion. "Yes. We can cultivate here while trading with those undead here. We won't delay anything." Qin Feiyang nodded. "Then we might as well move the ancient castle here. At that time, it will be more convenient for you to refine pills." Frenzy was speechless. "Makes sense." Qin Feiyang's eyes lit up as he scanned the city wall. The city wall was hundreds of feet high and dozens of meters wide. For example, the place under their feet was more than 40 meters wide. If the ancient castle shrunk a little, it wouldn't be a problem to stay here. Frenzy looked at Qin Feiyang in shock. He was just joking. Did they actually take it seriously? "Actually, I can help you with the time array." Snow Queen smiled. "You?" Qin Feiyang and Frenzy looked up at Snow Queen. "What? Are you looking down on me? Could it be that I, someone who grasped the ultimate meaning of the law of time, can't compare to the supreme meaning of the blood ancestor?" Snow Queen looked at the two with a mocking smile. "Ultimate meaning. Qin Feiyang and Frenzy's eyes trembled. Myriad Poison's Demon King laughed hoarsely. This time, the two of you are indeed a little blind. Yes, yes, yes. Qin Feiyang and Frenzy nodded repeatedly. They were indeed careless this time. The Divine King of Primal Chaos and the other Demon Kings all grasped the ultimate meaning of the law of time. Then, there must be one or two who grasped the ultimate meaning of the law of time. The time array set up by someone who grasped the ultimate meaning would definitely be stronger than the blood ancestors. Qin Feiyang asked, then what level of time array can you set up, 5,000 years in a day? Snow Queen smiled faintly. Hearing this number, Qin Feiyang and Frenzy looked at each other. They wanted nothing more than to run up and kiss this woman. This was simply a timely reign. Qin Feiyang secretly said, "Senior brother, this is a rare opportunity. Hurry up and call the castle over." Okay. Frenzy immediately flew toward the castle. Snow Queen said with a smile, however, I can't give you my time array for free. Qin Feiyang looked at Snow Queen. Looking at this woman's eyes, he instantly understood. She wanted other pills to open the door of potential. Although you helped me open a door of potential for free, compared to a 5,000 years in a day time array, that's much more valuable. I believe I don't need to say it. You should understand. Snow White Queen chuckled. Understood. This is a small matter. Qin Feiyang nodded. Then, he cautiously asked, however, seniors, is it possible for me to add something to it? Including us? Ghost Demon King and Myriad Poison's Demon King were stunned and immediately became excited. This was indeed a sensible young man. Who wouldn't like such a young man? No wonder the Divine King took care of him so much. Snow Queen smiled and said, no need to be so reserved. There's no harm. Qin Feiyang said, you have followed the Divine King on expeditions, so you must have a lot of souls of the dead. The three of them suddenly understood. This was helping the blood ancestor and Li Feng ask for souls of the dead. We do have a lot. However, the Divine King has more souls of the dead than us. Why don't you ask him directly? Snow Queen was suspicious. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, to be honest, seniors, the Divine King has already given us souls of the dead. Already? The three of them were stunned. At that time, they were all looking for the extreme Yang Thunder Fire. The Divine King and the Chaos Royal City didn't tell them, so they didn't know. Yes, all of them. Qin Feiyang nodded. Is this the good fortune that the Divine King promised to give you? Myriad Poison's Demon King was suspicious. Senior God King gave this departed spirit to Li Feng. As for the rest of us, each of us received an inheritance of an ultimate law, said Li Feng. Qin Feiyang smiled. What? The three Demon Kings couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Each of them received an inheritance? His Excellency the Divine King is too generous. One had to know. They, the Demon Kings, had never received such treatment. Because if they wanted an inheritance, they had to find it themselves. The Divine King never gave it to them. Of course. If seniors are willing to give us a few inheritances, we will be even happier. Qin Feiyang smiled. Greedy little brat. Snow Queen rolled her eyes at Qin Feiyang and shook her head, we are not as rich as the Divine King. We have to find our own inheritances. Otherwise, the Queen of Flames wouldn't have died in your hands. Qin Feiyang was slightly taken aback and smiled, all right, the souls of the dead are fine too. The three of them looked at each other and smiled. With a wave of their hands, 3 1-meter-wide enchantments appeared. They were all filled with the souls of the dead, and their consciousness had been erased. It was the energy of the inheritance. As expected, it wasn't as much as what the Divine King gave them. However, for the blood ancestor and Li Feng, the more the better. And now, with these souls of the dead, even if the souls of the dead that the Divine King gave them couldn't help the blood ancestor and Li Feng break through, they could make up for the gap. Thank you. Qin Feiyang smiled gratefully and accepted the souls of the dead without hesitation. Whoosh! At this time, the castle and the madman flew over. Snow Queen waved her hand and a wave of time energy surged out. A time array appeared and merged with the city wall beneath her feet. The ancient castle rapidly shrank, and with a rumble, it landed on the time array. Qin Feiyang and the madman looked at each other, the joy on their faces unconcealable. With this 5,000-year time array, not only would they be able to quickly grasp the inheritance, they might even be able to comprehend an ultimate profound inheritance. Because there were still more than 900 years before they left the Heaven Bell divine treasure. Taking 900 years as a round number, 900 years would be more than 320,000 days. One day would be 5,000 years, which would be more than 6 billion years. With their comprehension ability, they should be able to comprehend an ultimate profound in more than 6 billion years. After all, they had all opened the door of potential. Chapter 38:12. Snow White Queen looked at Qin Feiyang and smiled. It's time for you guys to express your gratitude. Seniors, please wait for a moment. Qin Feiyang smiled and followed Madman into the castle, entering a cultivation room on the second floor. Li Feng and Blood Ancestor were both in this cultivation room. The two of them were crazily devouring the souls of the dead that the Divine King of Primal Chaos had given them. Seeing Qin Feiyang and Madman enter, Blood Ancestor and Li Feng couldn't help but have a trace of suspicion in their eyes. Guess what we brought you? Madman bared his teeth. What? Blood Ancestor was puzzled. Qin Feiyang waved his hand, and the souls of the dead that Snow White and Theta Wang had given them appeared. Where did this come from? The two of them were shocked. We exchanged this with Snow White Queen, Myriad Poison's Demon King, and Spectre Demon King using potential pills. How about it? Don't you have to thank us properly? Madman chuckled. Exchanged with potential pills? Just a few potential pills can be exchanged for so many souls of the dead. Blood Ancestor was stunned. Just a few potential pills? Qin Feiyang and Madman were speechless. So in the eyes of Blood Ancestor, potential pills were so worthless? Madman said, not only potential pills, but also other pills that can open the door of potential. That's still a profit. However, is this okay? They are our future enemies. Blood Ancestor frowned. No. In the future, our relationship with them will only get better and better. Qin Feiyang chuckled. What do you mean? Blood Ancestor was surprised. Qin Feiyang briefly explained the situation. So that's how it is. Blood Ancestor suddenly understood and then became excited. Then the Divine King of Primal Chaos left us in the Primal Chaos Royal City. Isn't that helping us instead? Qin Feiyang nodded. Li Feng smiled and said, Qin Dage, Brother Feng, you guys can do it. In the future, we will ask you for all the laws we need. No problem. Madman laughed. It's hard to imagine how many laws we can obtain in the end. If the Feather Emperor knew about this, he would definitely be proud of you. If the human Emperor's spirit is in heaven, he would also be proud of you. The Blood Ancestor sighed as he looked at Qin Feiyang. Human Emperor, Qin Feiyang muttered. Regarding this progenitor of the Qin clan, he was filled with curiosity and admiration. Unfortunately, he would not have the chance to see him. Let's not talk. Although the law miniatures are important, you can't neglect your cultivation. If possible, let Li Zhongsheng and the others help. Ancestor to the ancestor. Understood. Fei Yang nodded to do so. The madman suddenly slapped his head, then he looked at Qin Fei Yang and said, Snow White Queen helped us set up a time of 5,000 years in a day. Then what about the time the ancestor set up in the ancient castle? This. Qin Fei Yang looked at the blood ancestor. He had not mastered the law of time, so he had no right to speak at all. It's impossible for time arrays to overlap. If we can overlap them, then we can set up a few more time arrays. If we stack them together, then it won't just be a day or 1,000 years. The blood ancestor shook his head. I see. Madman nodded. Alright, I won't disturb your cultivation anymore. Qin Fei Yang looked at the two of them and smiled. Then, he turned and walked out of the cultivation room with Madman. After Li Feng watched the two of them leave, he turned to the blood ancestor and said with a smile, Master, these souls should be more than enough, right? Yes. The blood ancestor nodded. He looked at Li Feng seriously and said, No matter what happens in the future, you must not disappoint Qin Fei Yang. After all, he treats you like family. I know. Li Feng nodded. In the hall. The madman followed Qin Fei Yang to the cultivation room and said with a smile, Now, it's not just us. The others won't have to worry about their laws either. Yeah. Qin Fei Yang nodded. There were too many people around them. Pei Tianhong, Wang Changyuan and the others. 6,000 dark guards. Xia Yuan and the other generals. Everyone needed the law miniatures. Originally, he was still thinking about how to distribute the law miniatures. After all, before coming to the Chaos Imperial City, they had only found a few law miniatures. But he didn't expect that. When he came to the Chaos Imperial City, he found such a huge business opportunity. Of course. He had to thank Snow Queen. If not for her reminder, Qin Fei Yang might not have been able to make this decision. He also had to thank the Divine King of Chaos. Because if the Divine King of Chaos didn't allow it, then no matter how many undead barrier-breaking pills he had, he wouldn't be able to use them at all. So, giving them pills to open the door of potential, one word, worth it. As for Demon King Feng Tian and the others, they could forget about it. Not long later. Qin Fei Yang and the madman walked out of the castle and handed 3 jade boxes to Snow Queen Theta Wang and the others. The 3 of them received the jade boxes in surprise. Qin Fei Yang didn't explain and told the 3 of them to go to the Chaos Imperial City for help. Because when they helped the Divine King of Chaos open the door of potential, the Chaos Imperial City was there to help, so the Chaos Imperial City knew about it. After the 3 of them left, Qin Fei Yang and the madman stood side by the city wall, scanning the mountains and rivers outside, full of anticipation for the future. A few days later. A woman in a black dress tore through the air like lightning and entered the Chaos Imperial City. When she saw the castle on the city wall, she was stunned. The woman was very young, in her 20s. She had an exquisite figure and peerless looks, comparable to Snow Queen. But her temperament was completely different. Snow Queen was kind and approachable. And this woman exuded a kind of coldness, as if she was 1,000 miles away. Whoosh! The woman in the black dress landed in front of the castle. Seeing the castle door open, she hesitated whether to go in and take a look. But in the end, she didn't do so and said, Qin Fei Yang, come out for a while. Soon. Accompanied by the sound of footsteps, Qin Fei Yang walked out of the castle. When he saw the woman, he hurriedly bowed, Greetings, Lord Demon King. He had seen this woman in the Divine King's main hall, but he didn't know how to address her. The woman took out the Supreme Yang Thunder Fire. Understood. Qin Fei Yang took the Supreme Yang Thunder Fire and turned to enter the castle. The woman suddenly asked, Have you been to the Black Mountain Canyon? Huh? Qin Fei Yang turned to look at the woman and asked suspiciously, How do you know? An undead told me. The woman said. So it's like that. Qin Feiyang suddenly understood. When they went to the Black Mountain Canyon, they didn't hide it, so it was inevitable that they would be seen by the undead. However, why would this woman suddenly mention the Black Mountain Canyon? Wait a minute. Suddenly, Qin Feiyang looked at the woman in shock and asked, "Could it be that you are the Dark Demon King that was born in the Black Mountain Canyon?" Quite smart. The woman's face revealed a trace of admiration. Qin Feiyang was surprised. What's wrong? The woman was puzzled. This junior thought that the Dark Demon King was a man, but I didn't expect it to be a woman, and such a beautiful one at that. Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled. Beautiful? The Dark Demon King was stunned for a moment. A trace of red appeared on her iceberg-like face, making her look especially charming. But soon, she concealed it and said indifferently, "Go and refine pills." All right. Qin Feiyang nodded and entered the cultivation room with the Supreme Yang Thunder Fire. He did not make things difficult for the Dark Demon King. Although the Dark Demon King was a bit cold, this was because of his personality. Moreover, from the moment they met until now, the Dark Demon King had not targeted him. Therefore, he definitely could not take the initiative to cause trouble. After refining the pill, Qin Feiyang gave it to the Dark Demon King. Thank you. The Dark Demon King took the pill, nodded and smiled, then directly swallowed the undead barrier-breaking pill and began to transcend the tribulation. What a cold and elegant woman. The madman walked out and looked at the Dark Demon King as he whispered. You like me? Qin Feiyang smiled in ridicule. What kind of joke is this? This daddy is a man who is taken. The madman snorted coldly. You still want me? I think you are just a blade of grass. Only Zhuo Shaoxian would like you. Qin Feiyang looked at him with disdain. You aren't any better. The madman sneered and retracted his gaze. He turned his head to look outside the city and frowned. It has been so long, why hasn't a single undead come to find us? You are too impatient. Qin Feiyang was speechless. It had only been a few days, was it long? The Sky Bell Divine Treasure could not be teleported and could only fly. And the Supreme Yang Thunder Fire was not everywhere, so it naturally took a lot of time to find it. Take the Dark Demon King for example. She had been out for almost half a month before she found the Supreme Yang Thunder Fire. Even the Dark Demon King needed such a long time, let alone other undead. Unless one's luck was really heaven-defying, they would encounter it the moment they went out. I am indeed a little impatient. The madman bared his teeth. When he thought of the scene of the law miniatures entering his bag, he couldn't help but feel excited. Brother Qin. Suddenly, a loud shout sounded. Qin Feiyang and the madman were stunned. They looked up and saw a black-robed man standing in the air not far away from the city, waving at them. Undead. Qin Feiyang and the madman looked at each other. Was business here? The madman came back to his senses and hurriedly waved at the man, come over. Go over. The black-robed man was slightly stunned when he heard this. He scanned the Chaos Royal City with a nervous expression. Don't be afraid. As long as you don't enter the city, the Chaos Royal City will not harm you. The madman hurriedly comforted him. The black-clothed man flew over doubtfully. He stood outside the city wall and faced Qin Feiyang. There was only half a meter between them. It was equivalent to standing at the edge of the city wall. Seeing that the Chaos Royal City really ignored him, the black-robed man let out a sigh of relief and took out the Supreme Yang Thunder Fire, Death God Fruit, and Yin Yang Wood. You found them so quickly? Qin Feiyang was surprised. The black-robed man scratched his head and smiled innocently. I already have these things, I just went back to get them. I see. The madman nodded and asked, "Did you bring the law miniatures?" "I brought them too." The black-robed man nodded, but his expression was a little hesitant. The madman looked at him suspiciously. Suddenly, he slapped his head and smiled. I understand. Old Qin, hurry up and refine them." Qin Feiyang shook his head and laughed. He took the herbs and entered the castle. Look at how happy the madman was. If it was something else, he definitely wouldn't be so enthusiastic. Chapter 38:13. Boom! At this moment, the Dark Devil King's heavenly tribulation had arrived as well. The black-robed man raised his head and asked in shock, "Is the Dark Devil King also undergoing his tribulation because he took the undead barrier-breaking pill?" "Yes." Madman nodded. "This tribulation is too strong," the black-robed man said in a deep voice. "Of course. Without the help of 6 or 7 sovereign weapons, don't even think about passing the tribulation." Madman said. "What? You need so many sovereign weapons?" The black-robed man was shocked. "Yes. What else do you think?" Madman nodded. "Then how am I going to pass the tribulation later? I don't even have a single sovereign weapon." The black-robed man's face was pale. If he couldn't pass the tribulation, what was the point of obtaining the undead barrier-breaking pill? No sovereign weapons? Then I'm afraid you have no hope. Madman shook his head. Wait. Wasn't this another business opportunity? And this business opportunity was to help these undead pass their tribulation. Even if these undead had a sovereign weapon, they would only have one at most. A single sovereign weapon was useless against him. Thus, they would definitely need help during their tribulation. Thinking of this, Madman looked at the black-robed man and smiled. "Actually, we have another service." "What service?" The black-robed man looked at Madman in confusion. "A service to help pass the tribulation." Madman chuckled. "There's such a service?" The black-robed man was surprised. "Of course. This is a one-stop service. I guarantee that you will be satisfied. However, if you want to enjoy this service, you must have..." Madman rubbed his fingers, his eyes filled with a sinister smile. He looked like a profiteer. Understood. Remuneration." The black-robed man nodded. "Sensible." Madman laughed. "Then, help pass the tribulation? How much does it cost?" The black-robed man asked. "You see, the undead barrier-breaking pill requires over 100 types of medicinal ingredients, and in order to take care of you all, we've already paid for the other medicinal ingredients. To put it bluntly, this is a business that's losing money." Madman sighed. "Understood. Thank you for taking care of us." The black-robed man nodded and thanked him repeatedly. "To be able to get a word of thanks from you, our efforts are worth it. As for the tribulation, we're doing this on the basis of conscience. Just like how we helped you refine the undead barrier-breaking pill, we'll use 2 ordinary laws of nature or 1 ultimate law of nature to help you transcend the tribulation. That's not too much, right?" Madman smiled. Not at all. The man in black hurriedly waved his hand. As long as he could successfully transcend the tribulation, not to mention 1 or 2 nomological manifestations, he would even be willing to condense 4 or 5 nomological manifestations. "Then, did you bring so many law miniatures? If you don't have it, it's okay. We can record it first. You can send it to us when the time comes." Madman said with a smile. "Since you've already taken such good care of us, how can I have the nerve to owe you a debt? I'll give you all the money later." The black-clothed man laughed. Good. I like doing business with honest people like you the most, cough. You're wrong. It's not business. It's making friends. Making friends with honest people like you. Madman coughed dryly and smiled. Qin Feiyang walked out with the pills. Seeing Madman and the black-clothed man talking and laughing, he smiled and said, "You guys are chatting so happily." Madman laughed and walked to Qin Feiyang's side, whispering, "Since we're doing business with others, we naturally have to be polite. Let me tell you a piece of good news. I've found another business opportunity and have already discussed it with him." "What business opportunity?" Qin Feiyang was suspicious. "Helping him transcend the tribulation." Madman secretly told him his thoughts. "Good idea." Qin Feiyang's eyes lit up as he transmitted his voice, "Senior brother, not bad. Even I didn't think of this." Madman said proudly, "Of course. Back in the ancient world, the pavilion master of the North Region Treasure Pavilion came to find me several times and wanted to take me in as a disciple. It was because I was born with a talent for business." When Qin Feiyang heard this, he couldn't continue listening. He thought Madman was going to say something, but it turned out that he was bragging again. He directly ignored him and handed the undead barrier-breaking pill to the black-clothed man. "This is the undead barrier-breaking pill." The black-clothed man grabbed the pill and looked down with excitement in his eyes. "Do you need help transcending the tribulation?" Qin Feiyang asked with a smile, instantly turning into a profiteer. "Yes, yes, yes." The black-clothed man nodded. "Okay." Qin Feiyang waved his hand. Universal Cauldron, Void Mirror, Edgeless Heavy Sword, Golden Sun Divine Sword, Silver Moon Divine Sword, Heavenly Star Divine Sword, Ice Phoenix Divine Sword, White Dragon Sword, Golden Dragon Spear, and Black Dragon Mirror appeared. Qin Feiyang secretly smiled and said, "You all know the situation. I'll leave the rest to you. Let's work together to earn a lot. It's a pity that you're not a profiteer." Ice Phoenix Divine Sword looked down on him. Cough, cough. Qin Feiyang coughed awkwardly. "Don't be so direct. So many sovereign divine weapons? They really live up to their reputation." When the black-clothed man saw the 10 sovereign divine weapons, he couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. "Hurry up." Qin Feiyang looked at the black-clothed man and smiled. Okay. The black-clothed man nodded and hurriedly consumed the undead barrier-breaking pill. "Help him transcend the tribulation above the city wall. Don't leave the city." Qin Feiyang transmitted his voice. Although the sovereign divine weapons didn't make a blood oath and it was fine even if they left the city, they couldn't leave behind any evidence for Demon King Feng Tian and the others. "We don't need a profiteer like you to remind us." Ice Phoenix Sword said indifferently. Qin Feiyang's face darkened. She really put the word profiteer on him? Boom! The tribulation cloud appeared. The heavenly tribulation also descended. Even though the black-clothed man was transcending the tribulation, he didn't step on the city wall. Because in the eyes of the undead, the Chaos Royal City was a forbidden area. Without the permission of the Chaos Divine King or the Chaos Royal City itself, no one dared to enter, not even stepping on the city wall. However, this didn't stop the 10 sovereign divine weapons from helping him transcend the tribulation. This was because the Ice Phoenix Sword was one of the 10 sovereigns' divine weapons. All they needed to do was release their divine might. On the other side, the Darkness Demon King, who was transcending the tribulation, looked at this scene and couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth. He really opened the door and started doing business here. This matter had long been spread in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. So when she was looking for the extreme Yang Thunder Fire, she had already heard of this matter. At first, she didn't dare to believe it. How could the Divine King allow such a farce to happen? But she didn't expect that the two of them would really take action now. The key was, the Divine King of Chaos actually didn't come out to stop them. Let's not talk about the divine king first. He might not know about this matter in seclusion, but it would be hard for the Chaos Royal City not to know. After all, the black-clothed man was transcending the tribulation right next to them. But the Chaos Royal City didn't say anything. What was going on? Focus on transcending the tribulation, don't worry about them. Suddenly, the voice of the Chaos Royal City sounded in her mind. All right. The Darkness Demon King replied. Seeing that the Chaos Royal City had no intention of explaining, he tactfully didn't ask further. In comparison, the Darkness Demon King's tribulation was much easier. After all, he had the help of the Chaos Royal City. Soon, the Darkness Demon King's heavenly tribulation ended. When his body was reconstructed, the joy on his face couldn't be concealed. She didn't leave. Instead, she stood silently in the sky and looked down at Qin Feiyang and the others. Not long later, the black-clothed man also successfully transcended the tribulation with the help of the Ice Phoenix sword and the 10 sovereign divine weapons. His entire being was also extremely excited. He was so excited that he cried. Madman comforted him, all right, I understand your feelings. From this moment on, everything in the past is over. A brand new life is waiting for you. Good luck. Look at how tiring it was to do business. Not only did he have to provide good service, he also had to comfort the other party. Thank you. Thank you so much. The black-clothed man wiped his tears and landed in front of Qin Feiyang and Madman, bowing deeply a few times. No need. We're just taking what we need, no. What I mean is, to be able to see you get rid of your undead body, we are also very gratified. Madman laughed. The black-clothed man shook his head and smiled. He took out 3 iron boxes from his universe ring and handed them to the 2 of them. Madman's eyes immediately emitted a green light. 3 boxes. Then there must be a miniature of the strongest law inside. Then we won't be polite. Madman chuckled and took the box. When he opened it, he was stunned. Inside the 3 boxes, there were actually miniature versions of the strongest laws. They were the Death Law, the Spacetime Law, and the Devour Law. Qin Feiyang looked at the 3 miniature versions with a stunned expression. Then, he looked at the black-clothed man and asked, "Did you take the wrong one?" To refine pills and help to pass the tribulation, he only needed 2 miniature versions of the strongest laws. I didn't take the wrong one. These 3 miniature versions of the strongest laws are all for you. To me, even 30 miniature versions of the strongest laws aren't as important as getting rid of my undead body and being reborn as a human. I just hope you don't mind. The black-clothed man said. I don't mind. Madman hurriedly waved his hand. How could he mind such a good thing? He couldn't wait to get a few more. Okay. Finally, I want to say thank you to you. I won't disturb you anymore. The black-clothed man bowed to the 2 of them again. Okay, take care. If you have any friends around you, feel free to ask them to find us. Seeing that you're so honest, we can give them a 20% discount. Madman waved his hand and chuckled. 20% discount? The black-clothed man was stunned and couldn't help but smile helplessly. He cupped his hands and said, "Goodbye. See you again if fate wills it." Qin Feiyang and Madman also cupped their hands and smiled. The black-clothed man turned around and looked down at himself. The joy in his heart couldn't be suppressed at all. In the end, he couldn't help but roar, "I'm finally no longer a lonely ghost." Then, he rushed into the mountain in front of him like lightning and disappeared. Qin Feiyang and Madman watched the black-clothed man leave. For a moment, they couldn't help but feel emotional. There were many people in the world who complained all day long that they didn't live well. But compared to these undead, they weren't even 1 in 10,000. Because no one could understand the pain and loneliness of being an undead. That was really like a lonely ghost. There was no light, no hope, no ties, and no warmth of family. It's worth it. Madman nodded. Nonsense. 3 epitomes of the strongest laws, how can it not be worth it? Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes at him. Don't be so vulgar, okay? Can this thing be measured by value? Besides, he gave it to me willingly. I didn't have to take it. It's a free thing, it's a waste not to take it. Madman bared his teeth and looked at the 3 epitomes in his hand. He was full of anticipation for the future. You still have the face to say that I'm vulgar? Qin Feiyang's face darkened. Was this going to spread the word shameless? Chapter 38:14. This is the epitome of earning 3 supreme laws. The Darkness Devil King looked at this scene with an astonished expression. This was too easy to earn. Although the epitome's value couldn't be compared to an inheritance, one had to know that an inheritance could only be encountered by chance. Being able to encounter an ordinary law inheritance was already a heaven-defying fortune. So, the epitome of a law became the goal of many people. The epitome of a law was the key to opening the ultimate door. Although it wasn't as convenient as an inheritance, as long as one was willing to work hard, one would be able to comprehend the ultimate meaning sooner or later. Especially the epitome of a supreme law, it was the most sought after. Even the Darkness Devil Kings weren't willing to give the epitome of a supreme law to others. In short, the value of the epitome of a supreme law was second only to the inheritance of the ultimate meaning. The Sky Bell Divine Treasure was like this, let alone the outside world. Although the Darkness Devil King hadn't been to the Sky Cloud Realm and didn't know the situation there, it wasn't difficult to judge from the desire of Qin Feiyang and others for the epitome of a law that the Sky Cloud Realm must be a relatively backward civilization. Not to mention the epitome of a supreme law, even the epitome of an ordinary law might cause a bloody storm in the Sky Cloud Realm. But at this moment, Qin Feiyang relied on the undead barrier-breaking pill, plus helping the undead to cross the tribulation, to earn the epitome of 3 supreme laws. Wasn't this transaction too worth it? The key was these 2. They were still pretending to be obedient. They both put on a righteous and helpful attitude. It looked like they really needed to be taught a lesson. But taking a step back. For Qin Feiyang and Darkness Devil King, refining the undead barrier-breaking pill and helping the undead to cross the tribulation was indeed a trivial matter. But for the undead of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure, this was almost a grace of rebirth. Therefore, to be able to get rid of the undead body with a few epitomes of a law was definitely a cost-effective thing in the eyes of the undead. What are you looking at? A voice sounded in the Darkness Devil King's ear. The Darkness Devil King was slightly taken aback and turned his head to look to the side. Unknowingly, Snow Queen had already come to his side. Snow Queen was as pure as ice and as pure as jade, wearing a snow-white dress that was spotless. She was like a fairy from a painting, peerless in style. The Darkness Demon King frowned and said, I was just wondering why the Divine King and the Primal Chaos Royal City didn't care about them trading with the undead so brazenly. It's not that they don't care, but that they've already acquiesced. Snow White Queen shook her head. What? Acquiesce? How is this possible? The Darkness Devil King was bewildered. How could the Divine King and the Primal Chaos Royal City allow such a ridiculous thing to happen? Some time ago, wasn't the main reason why the Divine King issued a kill order to Qin Feiyang and the others because Qin Feiyang and the others were plundering the Heaven Bell Divine Treasury? But now, Qin Feiyang and the others were right under the Divine King's nose. Why didn't he do anything? You don't know. The value of these little fellows is beyond imagination. There's one more thing that you know, right? Lord Divine King gave each of them an inheritance of a supreme law. Snow White Queen smiled bitterly. Whenever she thought of this matter, she would feel uncomfortable. The 10 demon kings had accompanied the divine king for many years, but they had never received such treatment. It was even worse than those who had entered the primal chaos royal city. What? Darkness Demon King was shocked once more. Her exquisite face was filled with disbelief. Snow White Queen looked at Qin Feiyang and Madman standing in front of the castle and sighed. I only hope that Demon King Feng Tian and the others will be tactful and not provoke these two. Darkness Demon King frowned. Do you think that the Divine King will heavily punish Feng Tian and the others for the two of them? It's not that I think, it's that he definitely will. Snow White Queen shook her head and whispered into Darkness Demon King's ear. This, Darkness Demon King's expression turned sluggish. There was such a pill in the world? Madman noticed Darkness Demon King and Snow White Queen and frowned. What are the two of them whispering about? Who knows? Qin Feiyang shook his head. Right now, he didn't care about this. He looked at the mountain outside the city. When would the second customer arrive? Would there be any surprises for them? Just as the two of them turned around and were about to enter the castle. Brother Qin. Accompanied by a loud shout, 3 figures shot through the air like lightning. Qin Feiyang and Madman were startled. They immediately turned around and saw 3 middle-aged men. They quickly arrived outside the city and stood in the air 100 miles away. Their faces were filled with anticipation. Quick, 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 the second customer is here. Madman was extremely excited. He waved at the 3 of them. Come closer, don't stand so far away. Can we? The 3 of them were startled. They couldn't help but look up at Snow White Queen and Darkness Demon King. Yes. As long as we don't enter the Primal Chaos Royal City, it's fine. Madman smiled brightly. The 3 of them gathered their courage and flew toward the city walls. Seeing that Snow White Queen and Madman really didn't ask anything, they flew in front of the city walls. These are the herbs we prepared. The 3 of them took out the extreme Yang Thunder Fire, Yin Yang Wood, and Death God Fruit. Madman looked at Qin Feiyang and urged, Old Qin, hurry up. Qin Feiyang shook his head and smiled bitterly. He took the 3 sets of herbs and entered the castle. Now. He began to regret it. Regret what? Regret that he didn't bring Dan Wangkai in. If he brought Dan Wangkai here, would he still need him to return to his old business? No. I have to find an alchemist for help. I wonder if Li Zhongsheng, Old Poison, or Xiao Xuan know how to refine pills. He didn't need too many, just one would do. While Qin Feiyang was refining pills, Madman also began to promote the service of tribulation transcendence. When the 3 of them heard about the terror of the heavenly tribulation, their faces sank like the black-clothed man. But when they heard that there was a service for tribulation transcendence, the 3 of them nodded without hesitation. Half an hour passed. The 3 of them consumed the undead spirit barrier-breaking pill, and with the help of the Ice Phoenix sword and the 10 sovereign divine weapons, they all successfully transcended the tribulation. The 3 of them didn't say anything and paid Madman the corresponding remuneration. There was a small interlude. One of them didn't prepare so many law miniatures and had to borrow them from his 2 companions. As for the miniatures that the 3 of them gave, they were the miniatures of the 3 strongest laws and 6 ordinary laws. Madman looked at the 9 miniatures and smiled widely. 3 brothers, I will have to trouble you to help me advertise that we provide tribulation transcendence services here. As long as there are enough law miniatures, we can satisfy all your requests. Of course. The 3 of them nodded. This service was really considerate. After sending the 3 of them off, Qin Feiyang and Madman looked at each other and smiled. The opening was quite smooth. How long has it been? He actually earned 6 Supreme Law miniatures and 6 Ordinary Law miniatures. Even I can't help but feel envious. Snow Queen shook her head. Why don't we go and help? And take some revenge? Darkness Devil King said. Snow Queen was stunned. She shook her head, then forget it. To think that she, a Devil King, would run over to help these two brats. She couldn't afford to lose face. Qin Feiyang and Madman nodded and smiled at the two Devil Kings. Then, they entered the castle and called Xiao Shui and the others out. What's wrong? Xiao Shui, Li Zhongsheng, and Old Poison looked at Qin Feiyang and Madman suspiciously. Do the three of you know how to refine pills? Or do you know any undead that knows how to refine pills? Qin Feiyang asked. No. As for undead that knows how to refine pills, I do know one. However, he is too far away from the primal chaos divine king. We can't find him. Moreover, I'm not familiar with him. Our sovereign weapons have not established a contract bridge. Li Zhongsheng shook his head. A trace of disappointment appeared on Qin Feiyang's face. Xiao Shui pondered for a while. She looked at Qin Feiyang and Madman and said, actually, I personally feel that it's better not to find someone else to refine such an important pill. Don't worry about that. For those that I don't trust, I will first control them and then teach them how to refine the undead barrier-breaking pill. It's just that we can't find an alchemist at the moment. It seems that I have to do it myself. Qin Feiyang smiled helplessly. Capable people do more work. Old Poison bared his teeth. He looked at Qin Feiyang and said flatteringly, I heard that you swallowed Theta Wang's undead barrier-breaking pill? So what if I did? Qin Feiyang was stunned and looked at him playfully. Can you give me one? I beg you. Old Poison actually ran up and hugged Qin Feiyang's arm, acting coquettishly. Qin Feiyang felt goosebumps all over his body. He kicked Old Poison away and said angrily, Don't you think you're disgusting? Don't you know how old you are? Why are you acting coquettishly? Xiao Shui and Li Zhongsheng also looked at him with disdain. Old Poison didn't care so much. He was like a dogskin plaster that clung to Qin Feiyang. Helpless, Qin Feiyang could only take out an undead barrier-breaking pill. Thank you, exalted immortal. Old Poison let go and happily ran out to transcend the tribulation. Madman looked at Xiao Shui and Li Zhongsheng and grinned. Since you guys didn't get the inheritance and aren't in a hurry to cultivate, you can help us. Okay. The two nodded. Then from now on, we'll work together. Li Zhongsheng, you're thick-skinned. You'll be in charge of marketing and trading with Old Poison. Xiao Shui, you'll be in charge of collecting the law miniatures and counting the number of law miniatures. The sovereign weapons and Old Qin will be in charge of refining pills and transcending the tribulation. Madman laughed mischievously. Qin Feiyang frowned. You've already distributed everything to us. What are you going to do? Me? Madman was slightly taken aback. Then, he said matter-of-factly, of course I'm in charge of controlling the overall situation. Scram. Qin Feiyang glared at him. Day after day passed. The number of undead that came to look for them increased, and their business gradually became more and more popular. Li Zhongsheng and the other two set up 2 desks and placed them on the side of the city wall. Li Zhongsheng and Old Poison sat together and promoted their tribulation transcendent services to the undead outside. Xiao Shui sat at the other desk with an account book. She received the payment and recorded it at the same time. Don't cut the queue, don't cut the queue. First come, first served. Maintain order. Madman sat on the side of the city wall with a wine jug in his hand. He drank a little wine while scolding the undead outside the city from time to time. Chapter 38:15. Several days passed. More and more undead came to the primal chaos imperial city. Outside the city, there was already a long line of people. There were at least 500 to 600 of them. They were all undead that had condensed their bodies. Because only undead that had grasped the ultimate profound were able to condense their bodies, their strength was stronger than those skeletons. With their strength, it was naturally easier for them to find medicinal herbs and laws. Moreover, they had been in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure for so many years, so it was possible that they had medicinal herbs and laws. Li Zhongsheng drank a mouthful of divine wine to moisten his throat. He turned to look at Madman, who was sitting at the side, and said with a flattering smile, "Brother Madman, I have been pondering over a problem." "What problem?" Madman looked at him suspiciously. Li Zhongsheng asked, "Can those skeletons that haven't condensed their bodies get rid of their undead bodies?" Madman was stunned. He had never thought about this question before. Old Poison was also holding a wine jar. After pondering for a while, he looked at Li Zhongsheng and said, "They don't have bodies and are still in the form of skeletons. It shouldn't be possible." The divine wine was naturally given to them by Madman. After all, they had worked hard and had to be rewarded. This problem, Madman lowered his head and pondered. According to the situation of the Fire Lotus back then, these skeletons should be able to get rid of their undead bodies. And once they got rid of their undead bodies, they could immediately condense their bodies. However, this was the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. The undead of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure were somewhat different from the situation of the Fire Lotus. Moreover, the rules of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure were different from the ancient world. Therefore, this matter had to be tested before he knew. At this time, Qin Feiyang quickly walked out with 10 undead barrier-breaking pills in his hand. Looking at the long line outside the city, a trace of helplessness appeared on his face. Although 500 to 600 people wasn't a lot, one had to know that these undead all needed to undergo tribulation. Undergoing tribulation was a very time-consuming matter. If they didn't need to undergo tribulation, they would naturally take the pills and leave. But to undergo tribulation, they had to do it one by one. This was because the number of Dominator divine weapons in their hands was limited. If a few of them were to undergo tribulation together, Dominator divine weapons like the Ice Phoenix Sword wouldn't be able to withstand it. As for him refining pills, it was a small matter. Because the ancient castle had a time array that lasted 5,000 years in a day, Qin Feiyang could cultivate and refine at the same time. After Qin Feiyang gave the pills to Qiao Shui, he saw the madman sitting at the table with his legs crossed. He had a leisurely look on his face, and he couldn't help but get angry. He went up and kicked the wooden chair that Madman was sitting on. Madman also rolled on the ground and said angrily, "Can't you think of a way?" Madman got up and glared at Qin Feiyang. "Are you sick?" Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes and looked at the Ice Phoenix Sword and the other sovereign divine weapons in the sky. He said in a low voice, "If they continue to resist the heavenly tribulation like this, they won't be able to endure it for long. Furthermore, with only 10 sovereign divine weapons, their efficiency is too low." "I know, but what can we do about it? How about we call White-Eyed Wolf and the others over?" Madman asked. Princess Huifeng had more than a dozen sovereign divine weapons on her. If she came over to help, it would naturally speed up the tribulation of the undead. However, Qin Feiyang had concerns. "What are you worried about?" Madman was puzzled. "If we ask Princess Huifeng to help, if we don't give her some miniatures, not to mention her, even we will feel guilty." "Of course. If she needs it, I will definitely not be stingy. I will give her whatever she wants. But she will bring these miniatures back to give to Feng Ho. The law miniatures are peerless treasures in the Sky Cloud realm. How can we let Feng Ho and the Feng people benefit from it?" Qin Feiyang said. "Makes sense." Madman nodded. "Brother Qin, is the undead barrier-breaking pill useful to me?" Suddenly, A voice full of doubt sounded. Qin Feiyang and Madman looked up and saw a purple-gold skeleton standing in the void not far from the city. A skeleton? Qin Feiyang was taken aback. Old Qin, I have discussed this problem with Li Zhongsheng and the others just now, but we didn't come to a conclusion. Why don't we test it? Madman transmitted his voice. Qin Feiyang looked at the purple-gold skeleton. The purple-gold skeleton was also very nervous. Qin Feiyang thought for a moment and smiled. Did you bring the herbs? Yes. The purple-gold skeleton nodded and quickly took out the Yang Thunder Fire, Yin Yang Wood, and Death Fruit from the Universe Ring on its bone finger. To be honest, I don't know if it is useful to the skeleton. However, we can give it a try. Qin Feiyang said. Okay. Even if it is useless, I will not ask you to return these herbs. The purple-gold skeleton nodded happily and sent the 3 herbs to Qin Feiyang. As long as there was a glimmer of hope, it would not give up. Qin Feiyang smiled slightly, took the herbs, and turned to enter the castle to refine. Brother Feng, if the undead bottleneck breaking pill is also useful to the skeleton, then our market will become bigger. It is equivalent to selling to all the undead and skeletons in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. Li Zhongsheng said excitedly. I hope it is useful. Madman's eyes were also full of expectation. Then he lowered his head and pondered. What should he do to solve the problem of the slow tribulation? After a while, Qin Feiyang came out of the castle and handed the undead bottleneck breaking pill to the purple-gold skeleton. Thank you. The purple-gold skeleton was very grateful. However, before the tribulation began, it faced a new problem. How to take it? Skeletons were different from undead with flesh and blood. Because skeletons were empty everywhere, there was no way to take it. Qin Feiyang was also a little helpless. Suddenly, his eyes lit up as he looked at the purple-gold skeleton and said, why don't you try to absorb the energy of the undead bottleneck breaking pill? Absorb? Madman was slightly taken aback. He looked at the purple-gold skeleton and said, this method may work. Try it quickly. Because absorbing the energy of the undead bottleneck breaking pill was not much different from directly taking it. After all, even if it took the undead bottleneck breaking pill, the energy would be absorbed by the body. Okay. The purple-gold skeleton nodded its head, grabbed the undead bottleneck breaking pill, and tried to absorb the energy of the pill. Yes. Everyone could clearly see that the energy of the undead bottleneck breaking pill was constantly pouring into the purple-gold skeleton's bones. Wait a moment. Wait for that person to finish his tribulation before you absorb it. Otherwise, when the heavenly tribulation comes, no one will help you. Qin Feiyang quickly stopped the purple-gold skeleton. When the purple-gold skeleton heard this, it couldn't help but shudder and quickly stopped absorbing the energy. It had been watching from outside the city for a long time. After taking the undead bottleneck breaking pill, every undead would experience a terrifying heavenly tribulation. Not to mention facing the heavenly tribulation head-on, even the power of the heavenly tribulation made it afraid. Senior brother, this can't go on. We really have to think of a way. Qin Feiyang rubbed his forehead. Don't we still have the castle, the Horsedale Whisk, and other sovereign divine weapons? In addition to Qiao Shui, Li Zhongsheng, the Old Poison, the Blood Ancestor, and Yun Xiang's sovereign divine weapons, we should be able to help these undead transcend the tribulation. Madman said. Even if we call all of them out, it will at most speed up a little. It can't completely solve this slow problem. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Then other than calling the white-eyed wolf and the others to come, what else can we do? Madman pursed his lips. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while, and his eyes flashed. He chuckled and said, don't say, I really have an idea. What idea? Madman was curious. Don't all the demon kings have sovereign divine weapons? And they are all mid-level sovereign divine weapons. Any sovereign divine weapon can help an undead transcend the tribulation. Won't this increase the efficiency? Qin Feiyang said. That's right. Madman slapped his head and glanced at the primal chaos royal city. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and said, don't count on the primal chaos royal city. It's such an arrogant sovereign divine weapon, why would it care about this? That's true. Madman nodded and said with a frown, but will the demon kings help? Definitely. Qin Feiyang nodded with certainty and said with a chuckle, let's talk about Snow Queen, Myriad Poison's Demon King, and Spectre Demon King first. We helped them open the door to their potential. If we're not willing to help with such a small matter, wouldn't we be disappointed? That makes sense. Madman nodded. As for the other Demon Kings. For example, Darkness Demon King hasn't opened the door of potential yet. She definitely wants it, but because of her face, she doesn't want to come to us directly. So when the time comes, we will take the initiative to find her and give her the pill to open the door of potential. She will have the nerve to refuse? Qin Feiyang snickered. You are indeed an old fox. Madman chuckled. Qin Feiyang said, as for Feng Tian Demon King, Bloodthirsty Demon King, and Black Flame Demon King, forget it. I don't want them even if they take the initiative to give me a sovereign divine weapon. Of course. We can't lose our backbone. Madman nodded. Qin Feiyang said, then you stay here and watch. I will go find them now. Go. Be polite. Madman waved his hand. Seeing Qin Feiyang turning around to leave, the undead lined up outside the city became anxious. Brother Qin, where are you going? We haven't refined the pill yet. There are still more than a dozen people waiting in line to undergo their tribulation. Why are you guys in such a hurry? Just wait quietly. Li Zhongsheng comforted them. These were all potential customers. They couldn't afford to offend them. Whoosh! But at this moment, 3 powerful auras came from afar. Madman and the others were shocked. The undead and the purple gold skeleton were also frightened. Qin Feiyang, who was about to jump down the city wall, couldn't help but turn his head to look outside the city. Because the owners of these 3 auras were Bloodthirsty Demon King, Black Flame Demon King, and Feng Tian Demon King. They came back at the right time. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed with a hint of ridicule. He turned around and walked to Madman's side, quietly waiting for the 3 Demon Kings to return. So many undead? Black Flame Demon Theta Wang flew over. When he saw this scene outside the city wall, he couldn't help but be stunned. There is another undead undergoing tribulation? And it is Qin Feiyang's sovereign divine weapon that is helping him? The 3 Demon Kings raised their heads and looked at the black-robed old man in the sky outside the city. The black-robed old man was shrouded in the aura of the tribulation. The Ice Phoenix Sword and the other sovereign divine weapons were helping him resist the tribulation. Was this a one-stop service? Chapter 38:16. Seeing this scene, the 3 Demon Kings looked at each other, and a trace of anger appeared between their brows. To think that he would actually do such a ridiculous thing in the Chaos Royal City. What kind of scandal was this? This matter had already spread in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure, so the 3 Demon Kings had naturally heard about it. At first, like the Darkness Demon King, they thought that it was just a rumor and that it was impossible for such a thing to happen. The Chaos Divine King and the Chaos Royal City would definitely not allow such a thing to happen. But when they returned to the Chaos Royal City and saw the scene before them, the 3 of them were dumbfounded. Li Zhongsheng, Xiao Shui, and the Old Poison were all seriously trading with the undead. Qin Feiyang and the Madman were also helping from the side. They even took out their sovereign weapons to help the undead transcend their tribulation. Moreover, the undead outside the city were all lined up in an orderly manner. Those who didn't know would think that there was a big shopping mall selling some popular goods. What are you doing? Where do you think this is? A wet market? Get lost. Heaven Flattery Demon King clenched his fists and looked at the undead with a gloomy expression. The group of undead immediately panicked and looked at Qin Feiyang and the madman for help. Of course, they didn't dare to contradict Heaven Flattery Demon King and could only ask Qin Feiyang and the madman for help. The few of you are also audacious. You actually dare to trade with the undead here. I really want to know who lent you such courage and courage. The three demon kings landed on the city wall and stared at Qin Feiyang's group of 5 with a cold glint in their eyes. Xiao Shui and the other 2 were also a little nervous. But Qin Feiyang and the madman looked at each other and ignored the 3 of them, which made them so angry that they were about to go crazy. Qin Feiyang, don't be too arrogant. Bloodthirsty Demon King roared. Qin Feiyang still ignored him and looked at the old man transcending his tribulation. Qin Feiyang, can't you hear us talking to you? Bloodthirsty Demon King rushed forward and grabbed Qin Feiyang's clothes. He bared his teeth and roared. The commotion here also alarmed Snow Queen, Darkness Devil King, Myriad Poisons Devil King, and Spectre Devil King. The 4 of them rose into the air and looked up at the city wall. Seeing the bloodthirsty Demon King's grip on Qin Feiyang, the Darkness Demon King's expression changed slightly. Right now, Qin Feiyang was deeply favored by the Divine King. If this continued, the 3 Demon Kings would definitely be the ones to suffer. Don't go. However, Snow White Queen extended her hand and stopped the Darkness Devil King. Why? The Darkness Devil King was suspicious. Snow White Queen looked at the 3 Demon Kings, shook her head and said, if we don't make them suffer, they won't restrain themselves. Moreover, don't you want to open the door of potential? If you go now, Qin Feiyang and the others might think that you are on the same side as Theta Wang. Hearing this, the Darkness Devil King decisively took a step back and stood side by side with Snow White Theta Wang. If Qin Feiyang and the madman really thought that she was on the same side as Theta Wang, then let alone opening all the doors of potential like the Primal Chaos Divine King and Theta Wang, she might not even be able to open a single door of potential. For these 3 arrogant and disrespectful people, offending Qin Feiyang and the others was not worth it. On the city wall, Qin Feiyang looked at the 7 or 8-year-old brat in front of him. If his strength allowed him to, he would really pick him up and beat his butt. What are you looking at? I asked you to answer me. Who gave you the courage to mess around here? The bloodthirsty Demon King was full of hostility. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed and said with a smile, I'm sorry, it's my fault. I apologize. After that old man finishes his tribulation, I will let them leave now. What's the situation? Why are you thanking the bloodthirsty Demon King? The undead outside the city were suspicious. Didn't they say that the Demon Kings wouldn't care? Don't panic, don't panic. Just wait and watch the show. But for your safety, it's best for you all to retreat a bit and hide your pills and herbs. The madman transmitted his voice. Hearing this, the group of undead looked at each other and decisively turned around and flew away, hiding far away. Including the purple-gold skeleton. After a while, the black-clothed old man finally succeeded in transcending the tribulation. After thanking Qin Feiyang and the others, he immediately flew away without looking back. As for the reward for refining pills and transcending the tribulation, the black-clothed old man had already given it to Xiao Shui before transcending the tribulation. At the same time, Xiao Shui, Li Zhongsheng, and the old poison also quickly put away the table and account book and retreated to the side, ready to enjoy a good show. Because they knew that the 3 demon kings would definitely fly into a rage later. If these things continued to be placed here, they would inevitably suffer an unexpected disaster. Qin Feiyang looked at the bloodthirsty Demon King who was still grabbing him and said with a smile, "My beloved Demon King, if you don't let go, how can I refine pills for you? That's enough. If you really want to vent your anger, it won't be too late to get rid of your undead body after refining the pills." Feng Tian Demon King and Black Flame Demon King looked at each other and quickly stepped forward to pull the bloodthirsty Demon King away. The bloodthirsty Demon King took a deep breath. With a wave of his hand, 3 extreme Yang Thunder Fire appeared. He looked at Qin Feiyang gloomily and said, "It's best if you don't fail this time." "I can't guarantee that." Qin Feiyang quickly waved his hand. "What did you say?" The 3's eyes turned cold. Was he planning to play with them again? "If you insist on a 100% success rate, then I really don't dare to refine pills." Qin Feiyang shook his head. "Do you really think that I don't dare to touch you?" The bloodthirsty Demon King's anger that had been suppressed with great difficulty also soared. "Touch me?" Qin Feiyang smiled and looked at the 3. "With the means of the 3 Demon Kings, you should have already tested the power of the Blood Oath when you first went out to find the extreme Yang Thunder Fire, right?" When the 3 heard this, their eyes trembled slightly. Thinking of the power of the Blood Oath, their scalps couldn't help but tingle. "If the 3 of you are really not afraid of death, then I don't care. On the contrary, I'm just a small character. It's an honor for the 3 of you to be buried with me." After Qin Feiyang finished speaking, he turned to look at the madman and asked, "Senior brother, do you think this makes sense?" "It makes sense. We are barefooted, so why should we be afraid of them?" The madman raised his head and looked at the 3 Demon Kings with playful eyes. The 3 looked at Qin Feiyang and the madman with gloomy faces. "Endure it. Don't do it." The Black Flame Demon King secretly shouted at the bloodthirsty Demon King and the Celestial Demon King. He looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Okay, we won't force you to have a 100% success rate. Just try your best. That's more like it. Wait, where's the furnace? Didn't I ask you to help me find a furnace? Why don't I see it? Don't tell me you didn't find it?" Qin Feiyang asked. "Give it to him." The Black Flame Demon King looked at the bloodthirsty Demon King. The bloodthirsty Demon King waved his hand, and a furnace immediately appeared in front of Qin Feiyang. This furnace was the size of a wash basin. There were mysterious patterns engraved on it. It was crimson red and emitted a dazzling light. This furnace is called the Crimson Fire Furnace. It's a 9th grade divine furnace. The Black Flame Demon King explained. 9th grade? Qin Feiyang was stunned for a moment, then shook his head and said, "Is this all the 3 Demon Kings have? You found a 9th grade furnace in just a few days." The Black Flame Demon King said with a black face, "A 9th grade divine furnace should be more than enough to refine pills." He was obviously mocking them. "There's no problem with refining pills. Let's just make do with it." Qin Feiyang's face was filled with disdain. After saying that, he took the furnace and the extreme Yang Thunder Fire and turned to enter the castle. "Wait." Suddenly, the Celestial Demon King spoke. "What is it?" Qin Feiyang stopped and turned to look at the Celestial Demon King suspiciously. The Celestial Demon King said, "This time, we want to enter the castle and watch you refine pills with our own eyes. If he played any tricks, they wouldn't even have a place to reason. That won't do. As I said last time, refining the undead barrier breaking pill is most afraid of being disturbed." Qin Feiyang shook his head. The Celestial Demon King clenched his fists and said patiently, "We won't disturb you. I guarantee that we won't even make a sound." "That won't do either. Such an important pill, I can't let you guys steal my skills." Qin Feiyang shook his head again, his attitude firm. "Are we the kind of people who would steal your skills? Moreover, how can refining pills be so easy to steal? You can't be thinking of playing tricks again, not daring to let us in to take a look, right? The three of them sneered. Think whatever you want. In any case, if you guys go in, I won't refine this pill. If you guys like to waste time, then I'll waste time with you guys. Qin Feiyang smiled faintly, looked at Xiao Shui who was hiding at the side, and laughed. Go make a pot of tea, after being busy for so long, it's time to relax. Make tea? Xiao Shui was stunned for a moment before nodding, all right. Even now, he was still in the mood to drink tea. This person's temperament was truly beyond compare. The most admirable thing was his courage. In front of the three demon kings, he actually dared to be so arrogant. Seeing this, the three demon kings immediately bristled with anger. What's wrong with me? You guys are the ones who forced me to go in, why are you blaming me now? If the three of you don't mind, why don't you have a seat? We can chat while drinking tea and talking about our dreams. In life, other than the undead barrier breaking pill, there are actually many meaningful things that can be done. Qin Feiyang smiled as he took out a tea table and a chair. When the three demon kings heard this, they really cursed out loud. Talk about your dreams, my ass. In their hearts, the undead barrier breaking pill was their dream. Other than that, they didn't want to talk about anything else. Fine. We won't go in. But you better not play any tricks. Seeing that Qin Feiyang was already sitting by the tea table and Xiao Shui was about to come out with a tea set, the three of them had no choice but to compromise. Wouldn't it have been better if you did this earlier? You wasted so much time. Qin Feiyang smiled and got up to enter the ancient castle. Xiao Shui came over with a tea set and asked, then, do you still want to make this tea? Yes. Of course. Wait for me to come out. Qin Feiyang nodded with a smile and entered the cultivation room without looking back. Xiao Shui smiled bitterly. What kind of young man is this? Why was it so hard to fathom? Chapter 38:17. There won't be any accidents, right? Bloodthirsty Demon King asked. If there are any accidents, this seat will cripple him. Feng Tian Demon King harumphed. Don't be reckless. Hurting him won't do us any good. Black Flame Demon King said. Then are we just going to watch him act arrogant in front of us? I really regret making this bullshit blood oath. Feng Tian Demon King was annoyed. If we didn't make the blood oath, would he have helped us refine the undead barrier breaking pill? You have to give up something to gain something. In short, no matter what he wants to do, we can only endure. Black Flame Demon King thought. Until now, they still didn't know how to reflect and were still thinking about how to scheme against Qin Feiyang. If they could realize their mistakes, put down their arrogance, and sincerely apologize, why would Qin Feiyang continue to make things difficult for them? To be honest, Qin Feiyang had done a good job in dealing with people. Frenzy held the wine jar and sat on the chair that Qin Feiyang took out before, looking at the ancient dragon god tea that Xiao Shui brewed. He didn't have the slightest interest. The 10 sovereign divine weapons also rushed to Frenzy's side, ready to deal with the anger of the 3 demon kings. Li Zhongsheng and Old Poison's hearts were filled with anticipation and nervousness. They were looking forward to Qin Feiyang playing with the 3 demon kings, but they were also afraid that the 3 demon kings would make a move against them. Their mood was very complicated. Dark Demon King looked at the ancient castle from afar and asked, do you think he will continue to play with Feng Tian and the others? Who knows? Snow White Queen shook her head. Not to mention Xiao Shui, even they couldn't see through Qin Feiyang. They had no idea what this little guy would do next. Boom! Suddenly, inside the ancient castle, there was a deafening sound, followed by the sound of something shattering. Hearing this sound, Black Flame Demon Theta Wang's eyelids twitched, and an uneasy premonition arose in his heart. As expected. Very soon. Qin Feiyang ran out with his face covered in dirt. There were several wounds on his body, and purple gold dragon blood was constantly flowing out. Where are the pills? Bloodthirsty Demon King asked nervously. I say, Lord Demon King, can you take care of my injuries first? How can a mere pill be more important than my life? Qin Feiyang's face was full of displeasure. Bloodthirsty Demon King's mouth twitched. To be honest, your life really isn't as important as the undead barrier breaker pill. My apologies. I failed again. Qin Feiyang sighed, his face full of self-blame. Ugh. The three demon kings were stunned. But it's not my fault. It's yours. What kind of broken pill furnace did you find? There's actually a crack on it. Just as the pill was about to come out of the furnace, it suddenly exploded. Fortunately, I dodged quickly, otherwise I would have been seriously injured. Sirs, you couldn't have purposely found a defective pill furnace to take revenge on me, right? Qin Feiyang looked at the three demon kings and said, feeling wronged. Broken pill furnace? Revenge on purpose? The three demon kings looked at each other in shock. We must be fucking sick in the head to deliberately find a defective furnace to take revenge on you. As demon kings, they had always paid attention to their identity. But at this moment, they really wanted to curse. Now that the undead of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure were looking for the extreme Yang Thunder Fire everywhere, it could be imagined how scarce the extreme Yang Thunder Fire was now. It wasn't easy to find the extreme Yang Thunder Fire, and there was hope of obtaining the undead barrier breaker pill. Would they do such a stupid thing? Even if they wanted to take revenge, they wouldn't use the extreme Yang Thunder Fire as a joke. The most hateful thing was, they had spent so much effort to find a decent pill furnace, but in the end, they were told that this was a broken pill furnace? Get lost, your sister. We're not blind. Whether there's a flaw or not, how could we not know? It was obvious that he was deliberately teasing them again, but he still pretended to be pitiful and wronged. Who are you trying to show it to? Qin Feiyang, you've gone too far. Bloodthirsty Demon King could no longer hold back the anger in his heart, and a terrifying demonic aura surged out. The Ice Phoenix Sword, one of the 10 sovereign divine weapons, immediately stood in front of Qin Feiyang and Madman, roaring with divine might. No. Qin Feiyang hurriedly stopped the 10 sovereign divine weapons and reprimanded, what did I tell you before? We are people with quality. Others may be unreasonable, but we can't not be unreasonable. What? You still say we're unreasonable? The three demon kings were so angry that their lungs were about to explode. Three lords, you really can't blame me for this accident. If you had paid attention and found an intact pill furnace, there definitely wouldn't have been an explosion. Although you might have done it on purpose, as a junior, I can't blame you. I can only swallow this grievance myself. Qin Feiyang sighed. What the hell? The three demon kings looked at Qin Feiyang in astonishment. Don't blame them. Swallow this grievance himself? Calling them villains and making himself so noble and great? How could a person be shameless to such an extent? Please, can you have some face? If a person is shameless, what's the point of living? The madman, Xiao Shui, Li Zhongsheng, and the old poison looked at each other with a smile in their eyes. Although Qin Feiyang was indeed a bit shameless, they had to admit that it was really satisfying to watch the three demon kings suffer in silence. So that's how it is. The undead hiding in the distance also suddenly understood. It turned out that he wanted to tease the three demon kings. No wonder he told them to stay away and hide the pills and medicinal herbs well. This was to prevent the three demon kings from transferring their anger to them. And they might snatch their pills and medicinal herbs. After all, with the character of these three demon kings, they wouldn't talk about morality with them. Really scared me to death. Let's drink some tea first to calm down. Qin Feiyang patted the dust off his body and sat next to the madman. He picked up the tea that Xiao Shui had already poured and drank it with lingering fear. You can still sit there and drink tea happily? The bloodthirsty demon king's heart was filled with hatred. A divine might roared. He naturally didn't dare to really harm Qin Feiyang and the others. He was only aiming for the tea table. Because the attitude of Qin Feiyang and the others, in his view, was a naked humiliation to him. But at the same time, the 10 ruler weapons also released their divine might, condensing into a torrent that surged toward the bloodthirsty demon king's divine might. Boom! The two divine might collided. A wave of destructive energy surged out in all directions like a tide. Of course, nothing would happen to the primal chaos royal city. Qin Feiyang and the others were the descendants of the 10 ruler weapons, so nothing would happen to them. But the mountains and rivers outside the city were destroyed. The undead in the distance all turned around and fled in fear. The madman sighed. Don't be so hot-tempered, it will hurt the harmony. Come, sit down and drink a cup of tea or some wine to cool down. Cool, your sister. The bloodthirsty demon king couldn't help but curse. Sorry, I don't have a sister. The madman bared his teeth. Looking at the madman's fearless appearance, the bloodthirsty demon king gritted his teeth. Calm down. The black flame demon king pressed the bloodthirsty demon king down and looked at the escaping undead outside the city, shouting, "All of you, stop." In the face of the 3 great demon kings who were in a fit of anger, who would dare to stop? He ran even faster, and even used all of his strength to escape. The black flame demon king's face darkened. He looked at Snow Queen and the others in the distance and said, "Have you all obtained the undead barrier breaking pill?" The 4 looked at each other, looked at Qin Feiyang, and nodded at the black flame demon king. Then have you all passed the tribulation and got rid of your undead body? The black flame demon king asked again. The 4 nodded again. Seeing this, the black flame demon king turned to look at Qin Feiyang and the others, angrily saying, "Why is there no accident when refining pills for them, but when refining pills for us? Don't be angry, don't be angry. This is just a matter of luck." Qin Feiyang hurriedly waved his hand. The madman added, "Maybe it has something to do with one's character. Some people have bad character, so they can't do anything smoothly." The 3 demon kings glared at the madman again. He actually scolded them indirectly, saying that their character was bad. 3 lords, what's done can't be undone. It's useless for you to mess with us here. The undead barrier breaking pill won't come to us on its own. So, you might as well go find the extreme Yang Thunder Fire. I promise you, I will be careful next time. Qin Feiyang smiled. Next time? The 3 clenched their fists. If not for the restriction of the blood oath, they would have already killed him. You guys go and catch those undead. The black flame demon king looked at the bloodthirsty demon king and Feng Tian demon king and said in a deep voice. Because he noticed that there were more than a dozen undead waiting in line to pass the tribulation, and they all had ready-made undead barrier-breaking pills in their hands. The bloodthirsty demon king and Feng Tian demon king also understood. They turned around and rushed out of the city, chasing after those undead. What are you guys doing? Snatching their pills and herbs? Don't forget your identity. You are the demon kings of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. It was obvious that the 3 of them were driven to desperation. Childish. Look at you guys. You are all perfect sovereigns. Don't you know that the strong are respected? The black flame demon king's face was full of sarcasm. What if I don't allow it? Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice. What right do you have to say no? Is this within the scope of the blood oath? Are we snatching your pills? Meddling in other people's business. The Black Flame Demon King sneered. Lord Demon King, I beg you, let us go. Brother Qin, please save us. Soon. The bloodthirsty Demon King and Feng Tian Demon King captured more than a dozen undead. These undead were also unlucky. They had already escaped, but their speed was not as fast as the two Demon Kings. Let them go. Qin Feiyang said angrily. Let them go? Who do you think you are? Do we have to listen to you? The bloodthirsty Demon King and Feng Tian Demon King sneered. Qin Feiyang's eyes darkened, and a wisp of killing intent emerged. He said in a deep voice, Don't forget that the blood oath I made is only to give you the undead barrier-breaking pills. It doesn't include that I can't kill you. What? Kill us? Huh, the three Demon Kings immediately looked up to the sky and laughed. This little bastard was stupid. He actually threatened to kill them? Didn't he know what he was capable of? Did he really think that he had the capital to challenge the three Demon Kings just because he had more than a dozen sovereign divine weapons in his hands? Chapter 38:18. Let them go. Just as the three Demon Kings were feeling smug, another powerful voice sounded. Who's farting this time? Do you believe that I won't cripple you? Bloodthirsty Demon King said angrily. But as soon as he finished speaking, his expression froze. This seemed to be the voice of the Chaos Royal City. Black Flame Demon King and Sky Demon King were also bewildered. Was this really the voice of the Chaos Royal City? Of course, they recognized the voice of the Chaos Royal City, but it was too unbelievable that the Chaos Royal City would help Qin Feiyang and the others. Therefore, they doubted it and thought that they had heard wrongly. At the same time, Qin Feiyang and the others were also surprised. Like the three Demon Kings, they thought that it was an illusion. The only ones who were not surprised were Snow Queen and the other three. This was because the Primal Chaos God King had already secretly warned them not to force Qin Feiyang to do anything he was unwilling to do. Who are you talking about farting? After a moment of silence, the Chaos Divine King's voice sounded again with a bone-piercing chill. I'm sorry. Bloodthirsty Demon King quivered and quickly knelt on the ground. You're getting bolder and bolder. You even dare to scold me. As soon as the Chaos Deity King finished speaking, a monstrous divine might surged, instantly enveloping the bloodthirsty Demon King. Accompanied by a blood-curdling scream, the bloodthirsty Demon King's body shattered on the spot, blood splattering across the sky. Lord, please forgive us. Sky Demon King and Black Flame Demon King saw this scene and immediately knelt in the void and begged for mercy, afraid that the Chaos Divine King would vent his anger on them. This is a lesson. One more time and you'll all die. After the Chaos Divine King finished speaking, his voice slowly faded away. So strong. Lunatic muttered. Even a powerful existence like Bloodthirsty Demon King could not resist in front of the Chaos Royal City. If it were them, wouldn't they die instantly? Indeed strong. They're not on the same level at all. Qin Feiyang muttered. Even though the Primal Chaos Royal City had only attacked for an instant, everyone present was shaken to the core. This was especially true for Theta Wang's people, whose eyes were filled with fear. They could not understand why the Primal Chaos Royal City would help these ants. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath and sneered at Feng Tian Demon King, didn't you hear the order from the Chaos Royal City? Let them go. The dozen or so undead were still trapped by Demon King Feng Tian's aura. Feng Tian Demon King looked at Qin Feiyang and then at the Chaos Royal City. In the end, he had no choice but to withdraw his aura and release the undead. They could ignore Qin Feiyang's words. However, they did not dare to disobey the orders of the Primal Chaos Royal City. Qin Feiyang said, in the future, you are not allowed to snatch those undead's pills and herbs. You can only rely on your own abilities to find them. All right. We'll find it ourselves. Black Flame Demon King said through gritted teeth. Then, he, Feng Tian Demon King, and Bloodthirsty Demon King disappeared into the depths of the mountain without looking back. How satisfying. Li Zhongsheng and Old Poison ran out and laughed loudly. This was the first time they saw these demon kings in such a sorry state. Are you not afraid now? Madman bared his teeth. Not anymore. The two shook their heads. Because they were afraid, it was because their fear of the demon kings was deeply ingrained. And now, the three demon kings were being mercilessly suppressed by Qin Feiyang and Madman. This was equivalent to crushing their fear of the demon kings. Now that they looked back, these demon kings were not that scary after all. Then let's continue. Madman said. Okay. The two nodded and quickly took out tables and chairs, placing them on the side of the city wall. Looking at the undead outside, they shouted, "It's fine now. Hurry up and line up for the tribulation." The dozen or so undead looked at each other and could not help but look at Qin Feiyang and Madman with admiration. Not only did they dare to tease the three demon kings, but even the Chaos Royal City was helping them. How incredible! Those undead that had escaped also returned one after another. No one mentioned this matter again. They just treated it as a small episode, but they did not see the purple gold skeleton return. Qin Feiyang searched the crowd for a while, but he still couldn't find the purple gold skeleton. He then entered the castle, washed the dust off his body, changed into a clean set of clothes, and prepared a pill to open the door of potential. Then, he walked out of the castle and flew towards Snow White Queen and the other three. The four of them were ready to leave, but when they saw Qin Feiyang flying over, they could not help but have a trace of doubt in their eyes. Greetings to the four seniors. Qin Feiyang landed in front of the four of them and bowed respectfully. Snow White Queen smiled and said, "We can't accept your bow now." Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked at the four of them. Why did these words sound so distant? Ghost Demon King said enviously, "Even the Chaos Royal City has become your backer. Do we still dare to accept your bow?" Qin Feiyang smiled embarrassedly and hurriedly waved his hand, saying, "You can't say that. The Chaos Royal City is a place of virtue and prestige. They side with reason and not family. You really know how to talk." Snow White Queen and the others could not help but shake their heads and laugh. Qin Feiyang took out the jade box that he had prepared and handed it to Darkness Demon King. Darkness Demon King looked at the jade box in surprise. Snow White Theta Wang also had a trace of doubt on her face. Qin Feiyang slowly opened the jade box, and a dozen pills immediately appeared. This is, Snow White Theta Wang's pupils constricted. Darkness Demon King's gaze became more and more suspicious. Myriad Poison's Demon King came back to his senses and looked at Darkness Demon King, saying, "This is the pill to open the door of potential." Darkness Demon King was stunned when he heard this. There was actually such a good thing that he took the initiative to give it to him? No. There must be some other condition. Senior, you don't want it? Then it seems like this junior is thinking too much. Qin Feiyang sighed. Cough, cough. Darkness Demon King immediately coughed and revealed a smile on his icy face. He shook his head and said, "You're trying to curry favor for no reason. You're hiding evil intentions. Look at what you're saying. You're a senior and I'm a junior. It's only right for me to be filial to you." Qin Feiyang stuffed the jade box into Darkness Demon King's hands. Darkness Demon King looked at the pills in the jade box and could not help but feel excited, but he still had his reason. He looked at Qin Feiyang and smiled, saying, "Speak, what do you need me to help you with?" This, Qin Feiyang dryly laughed and looked at the four demon kings, saying, "This junior just wants to borrow your ruler weapon. Don't worry, I'm not using it to deal with Theta Wang. I'm only using it to help the undead pass their tribulation." Help the undead pass their tribulation? The four of them were slightly taken aback. They raised their heads and looked at the undead outside the city, saying, "You're quite considerate of them. Since I've taken their law miniatures, I naturally have to ensure their safety. Let's talk about it later." Could it be that the four seniors don't want to see the Sky Bell divine treasure return to the prosperity it had before it was destroyed? Qin Feiyang smiled. The prosperity it had before it was destroyed, the four of them murmured, as if they were reminded of something. Their faces were full of sadness. Although this junior doesn't know what the Sky Bell divine treasure used to be, this junior believes that as long as everyone gets rid of their undead bodies, the Sky Bell divine treasure will definitely slowly recover its vitality. So, it's not impossible to return to the prosperity it had before it was destroyed. Qin Feiyang said. So, you're still contributing to the Sky Bell divine treasure? Snow White Queen restrained her emotions and smiled. I don't dare to say that. In any case, we're just taking what we need. Qin Feiyang smiled. At least you're honest. Alright, since you have such intentions, we'll help you. It can also be considered as helping the Heavenly Bell divine treasure. Snow White Queen smiled and took out her sovereign weapon. This was a snow-white longsword with snowflakes engraved on it. It was translucent and sparkled with divine light, like a masterpiece of the heavens. It was extremely beautiful. The myriad poisons Demon King, Darkness Demon King, and Spectre Demon King looked at each other and took out their own sovereign weapons. Many thanks, four seniors. Qin Feiyang was overjoyed and hurriedly bowed to express his thanks. With the help of these four mid-level sovereign weapons, the efficiency would increase by several times. Although Lord Divine King and the Primal Chaos Royal City are supporting you, there are some things that I still have to remind you of. Everything can only be done once and twice, not thrice. In addition, when the Nine-Tailed Queen and the Infernal Demon King return, you must not target them. This is because they don't get along with Theta Wang. So to you, they are not enemies. Do you understand what I mean? Snow White Queen said. Understood. Qin Feiyang nodded. She wanted him to rope in the Nine-Tailed Queen and the Infernal Demon King. Very well, go do your work. Snow White Queen waved her hand and smiled. This junior will take his leave. Qin Feiyang bowed respectfully. Then, with the four sovereign divine armaments, he landed on the city wall with lightning speed. After that, he looked at the four sovereign divine armaments, cupped his hands and said with a smile, I have troubled the four seniors. The four divine weapons of the sovereigns did not pay any attention to him. They appeared rather aloof as they directly emitted waves of divine might. What are you all still standing there for? Hurry up and go through your tribulation. Madman looked at the dumbstruck undead outside the city and shouted. These undead's hearts were surging with shock. What's going on? Not only did the Primal Chaos Royal City help Qin Feiyang, even Snow White Queen and the other demon kings lent their sovereign weapons to this person. One must know. These demon kings were all vicious and merciless people. When did they become so easy to talk to? Madman looked at the four sovereign weapons and walked to Qin Feiyang's side. He then looked at Snow White Queen and the other three who were leaving and transmitted his voice. I really didn't expect them to be so straightforward. To be honest, I'm also a little surprised. Qin Feiyang thought. He thought that even if he could borrow it, it would take a lot of effort. Who would have thought that they would directly give it to him? Madman secretly laughed. It seems that other than Bloodthirsty Demon King, Feng Tian Demon King, and Black Flame Demon King, the other demon kings have a good impression of us. This is all thanks to the pill that opens the door of potential. Qin Feiyang smiled. Of course. Who doesn't want to open the door of potential? For example, the primal chaos divine king. Although he is already very strong, he still needs to comprehend the law of life and death. However, there are two other demon kings that we haven't met before. I wonder what their characters are like. Madman frowned and was somewhat worried. Chapter 38:19. The other two demon kings, Snow Queen and the others, did mention them. Qin Feiyang pondered. What about them? Madman asked. One of them is called the Nine-Tailed Queen and the other is called the Hell Demon King. I still don't know what kind of person they are. But I heard from Snow Queen and the others that the two of them don't get along with Bloodthirsty Demon King. Snow Queen also wants us to rope them in. Qin Feiyang said. Then this is indeed good news. Madman nodded. As long as they didn't get along with Theta Wong, they were worth roping in. With the help of Snow Queen and the others' sovereign divine weapons, the efficiency increased by several times. Qin Feiyang also began to refine pills again. Half a month passed. The number of undead gathered outside the city had reached thousands. There would definitely be more and more people later. After all. As time passed, the number of undead who found the extreme yang lightning fire, yin yang wood, and death fruit would increase. Moreover, because the Sky Bell divine treasure couldn't be transmitted, they could only rely on the undead to communicate with each other, so the speed at which the news spread was very slow. The undead nearby were still fine, but those that were too far away had to wait for a long time to receive the news. Naturally, they would only rush over later. It was also on this morning that a man and a woman landed on the city wall. Looking at the undead outside the city, then at the busy Xiao Shui and the others, and then at the various sovereign divine weapons that were helping the undead pass their tribulation, especially the sovereign divine weapons of Snow Queen and the others, the man and woman couldn't help but be stunned. What's going on? Even these four sovereign divine weapons came to join in the fun? These two were the Nine-Tailed Queen and the Hell Demon King. The Hell Demon King was a middle-aged man, his body was quite thin, and his entire body was covered in a black robe. Only a cold face and black eyes with surging demonic chi could be seen. The Nine-Tailed Queen was a woman in her 20s. Her clothes were quite revealing. She wore a mink short skirt, revealing two tall and white long legs. Her shoulders and two jade arms were also exposed. Her skin was sparkling and translucent, soft like water. She looked like a peerless beauty who could bring disaster to a country. Her every move, every frown, and every smile emitted boundless charm. Especially her pair of bright eyes, which were suffused with specks of light, as if they could steal souls. Not only Li Zhongsheng and the old poison, but even the undead outside the city couldn't help but stare. Even the madman couldn't help but feel restless when he saw the Nine-Tailed Queen. She was simply a natural-born beauty. Moreover, her body exuded an enchanting fragrance that could directly stimulate a man's most primitive desire. Qin Feiyang came out with the pills. When he saw the situation of the madman and the others, he couldn't help but be stunned. How did they all end up like this? He followed everyone's gaze, and when his gaze landed on the Nine-Tailed Queen, he almost lost his mind. This woman was not only a heavenly beauty, but also had a natural charm that made people want to get close to her and possess her. A vixen, right? Qin Feiyang muttered and coughed hard. Everyone seemed to have woken up from a dream. Li Zhongsheng, the old poison, and the undead outside the city immediately had a look of awe on their faces. Senior brother, your heart isn't firm. Be careful, or I'll tell Xiao Xian. The madman handed the pills to Xiao Shui and looked at the madman beside him, transmitting his voice. Who said that? I just took a few more glances. The madman refused to admit it. But he was extremely puzzled. Although this woman was beautiful, it was impossible for her to shake his mind, right? There must be a problem here. Let's go. They are the nine-tailed queen and the Hell Demon King. Be polite. Qin Feiyang secretly said and then greeted the two demon kings. He bowed and said, "Greetings to the two seniors." The madman stood at the side and curiously sized up the nine-tailed queen. "What are you guys doing?" The nine-tailed queen glanced at the undead outside the city and asked Qin Feiyang and the madman suspiciously. Even when she spoke, there was a fatal temptation. Qin Feiyang transmitted his voice, "Senior brother, I suddenly thought of someone." "Who?" The madman was suspicious. "Wang Yu, I feel that this nine-tailed queen seems to be the same as Wang Yu, Qin Feiyang secretly said. "Wang Yu, The madman was stunned. She's also a very beautiful woman. Because she cultivated a kind of charm technique, even I almost suffered in her hands." Qin Feiyang explained. "You mean that this nine-tailed queen also cultivated a charm technique?" The madman was surprised. "I don't know. But I can feel that the charm she exudes far surpasses Wang Yu, Qin Feiyang transmitted his voice. Seeing the two silent, the Hell Demon King beside them spoke, "I'm asking you guys a question." As if he was really a demon king from hell, even his voice had a bloody smell. Qin Feiyang came back to his senses and apologized, "I'm sorry, I was too engrossed in my thoughts." As the two seniors can see, this junior is helping them to get rid of their undead bodies. "For free?" the nine-tailed queen asked. "Of course not." Qin Feiyang smiled. The nine-tailed queen was stunned for a moment before coming to a realization. Revealing a smile, she shook her head and said, "You guys are really bold." As soon as this smile appeared, even the world lost its color. Looking back with a charming smile, this saying was perfect for the nine-tailed queen. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, "If we didn't get the tacit permission of the Divine King, no matter how bold we are, we definitely wouldn't dare to do this. The Divine King has already acquiesced?" This result caused the two of them to be rather surprised. Qin Feiyang nodded. "You're quite capable." The nine-tailed queen shook her head and took out the extreme Yang Thunder Fire. The Hell Demon King also took out a extreme Yang Thunder Fire. "This junior just happens to have ready-made pills, please accept them." Qin Feiyang took out two undead barrier-breaking pills and handed them to the two demon kings. After tricking bloodthirsty demon Theta Wang twice in a row, of course he had some on him. The nine-tailed queen and the Hell Demon King were stunned, but they didn't ask much. Each of them grabbed a pill and prepared to turn and leave. "Seniors, wait a moment." Qin Feiyang hurriedly called out to the two of them. "Is there anything else?" The nine-tailed queen turned her head and looked at Qin Feiyang with a smile. Qin Feiyang couldn't help but feel restless in his body. He tried his best to suppress it, muttering in his heart, "What a demoness. The two of you, please wait a moment." After saying that, Qin Feiyang turned and ran into the castle. The nine-tailed queen and the Hell Demon King looked at each other, and couldn't help but have a trace of doubt on their faces. Soon, Qin Feiyang came out with two jade boxes, and said with a smile, "This is a gift for the two seniors, please don't mind." "Are you trying to bribe us?" The nine-tailed queen looked at the jade box and looked at Qin Feiyang with a playful smile. Qin Feiyang laughed. He was seen through so quickly. "However, I'm happy to be bribed by you." The nine-tailed queen took the jade box without hesitation. Even the Divine King had acquiesced, so she didn't need to be hostile to the two of them. She then opened the jade box and was stunned. Why were they all pills? The Hell Demon King lowered his head to look at the pills, his face full of confusion. Junior and the others are too busy and don't have time to explain. The 2 seniors might as well look for the 4 seniors, or directly ask the Chaos Imperial City. They know all about it. Qin Feiyang smiled apologetically. Still keeping us in suspense? The 9-tailed queen was stunned, then laughed. All right, you guys go ahead. With that, the 2 of them turned and left. Madman stared at their backs with a thoughtful look. Be careful not to lose your soul. Qin Feiyang rolled his eyes at Madman. What? I'm not looking at the 9-tailed queen. I'm looking at the Hell Demon King. Why do I feel a familiar aura from him? Madman frowned. Familiar aura? Qin Feiyang was stunned and looked at the back of the Hell Demon King once again. No way. It's true, I'm not lying to you. Madman said. Qin Feiyang frowned and carefully sensed the aura of the Hell Demon King. His eyes suddenly trembled as he exclaimed, "It's the Hell God Hound." Yes, yes, yes. It's the Hell God Hound. His aura contains the aura of the Hell God Hound. Although it's very weak, it's definitely not wrong. Madman nodded his head. No wonder there was a familiar aura. It turned out to be the aura of the Hell God Hound. So, he might not be a human, but a transformation of the Hell God Hound? Qin Feiyang was surprised. We can't rule out this possibility. And this 9-tailed queen, her aura seems to be a little different from a human's. And last time in the main hall, we also saw this 9-tailed queen. At that time, other than being beautiful, she didn't have such a great charm. But now, she's showing such a terrifying charm. Could it be that she saw us doing business here and wanted to show us her strength? Madman muttered. Show us her strength? Qin Feiyang was stunned and the corner of his mouth raised slightly. Interesting. What kind of woman could have such a great charm? What followed was very calm. No one came to disturb them. But the next morning, 2 sovereign divine weapons broke through the air, emitting a terrifying aura. Qin Feiyang and the others were shocked. Because the aura of these 2 sovereign divine weapons was no weaker than the sovereign divine weapons of Snow Queen and the others. 2 little brothers, this is a loan to you. You have to help us take care of it. The 9-tailed queen's soft and pleasant voice sounded. Little brothers? Qin Feiyang and Madman were stunned. It had only been a day, and they had become so familiar? Even if they were given pills to open the door of potential, as demon kings of the Sky Bell divine treasure, shouldn't they be a little more arrogant and reserved? When they came back to their senses, Qin Feiyang and Madman looked at each other, and a smile crept up in their eyes at the same time. These pills were too worth it. With the help of the 9-tailed queen and the Hell Demon King's sovereign divine weapons, the efficiency was different. And the undead outside the city, seeing the 2 demon kings' sovereign divine weapons coming, there were no waves in their hearts, because they were already numb. These 2 little fellows from the outside world were simply 2 miraculous figures. Chapter 38-20. Now that the 10 great demon kings, Queen Flame is dead, and Snow Queen and the other 5 have a good impression of us, only Theta Wang is left. Old Qin, how do you plan to deal with them next? Madman looked at Qin Feiyang with a despicable expression and asked. I haven't thought about it yet. Qin Feiyang shook his head. Why don't we continue to blow up the furnace? The madman smiled. Qin Feiyang was stunned. This method obviously couldn't be used anymore. After all, they weren't stupid. Moreover, Snow Queen and the others had repeatedly told them that they could do it again and again, but not repeatedly and repeatedly. Anyway, if I just give them the pills, I won't be willing to do it. The madman snorted coldly. The pill furnace method definitely can't be used again. However, I didn't say that I have to refine pills for them now. Qin Feiyang smiled mockingly. It wouldn't be too late to give them the pills before leaving the Heaven Bell Divine Treasury. When the madman heard this, a smirk appeared on his face, but suddenly he seemed to have noticed something. He raised his head and looked past the crowd, looking at a certain place in the mountains outside the city. What's wrong? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. Look, what is it doing there sneakily? The madman was puzzled. Qin Feiyang looked over in puzzlement. He saw a purple-gold skeleton squatting on a small hill in the distance. Its cowering appearance was rather comical. It's it? Qin Feiyang was slightly taken aback and said with a smile, I was just looking for it. This was the purple-gold skeleton that came to him yesterday to refine the undead barrier-breaking pill. Come here. The madman shouted at the purple-gold skeleton. Hearing this, the purple-gold skeleton glanced at the Chaos Royal City and ran over carefully. Look at how nervous you are. No one wants to kill you, what are you afraid of? The madman was speechless. I'm afraid of those demon kings. The purple-gold skeleton laughed dryly and asked, Are you sure that those demon kings won't attack us again? It's not that I want to criticize you, but with your courage, how did you evolve into a purple-gold skeleton? Didn't you see? Even the sovereign divine weapons of the devil kings are here to help you transcend the tribulation. How could they possibly harm you? Madman was speechless. The purple-gold skeleton smiled awkwardly. Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked at the Ice Phoenix sword and the other sovereign divine weapons. It just so happened that he had helped one of the dead spirits successfully transcend the tribulation. Hence, he looked at the line of dead spirits waiting to transcend the tribulation and smiled. Sorry, I cut the line. I'm fine. The undead were all very amiable. Qin Feiyang looked at the purple-gold skeleton and said with a smile, Go. Thank you. The purple-gold skeleton smiled gratefully and immediately ran to the opposite side of the Ice Phoenix sword and the other sovereign divine weapons. It took out the undead spirit breakthrough pill and began to absorb its energy. Not only Qin Feiyang and the others, but even the undead who had condensed their physical bodies were also looking forward to it. If even these skeletons could use the undead barrier-breaking pill to get rid of their undead bodies, then the future of the Heaven Bell Divine Treasure would definitely undergo a tremendous change. In just a short while, the purple-gold skeleton absorbed all the energy of the undead barrier-breaking pill. The skeleton did not have a flesh and blood body, so the changes in its body were even more obvious. Everyone present could clearly see that the undead energy in the purple-gold skeleton's bones was rapidly being purified by the energy of the undead barrier-breaking pill. However, this didn't prove anything. Because the function of the undead barrier-breaking pill itself was to purify the undead energy. The most important thing was, it all depended on the changes after the purple-gold skeleton had transcended the tribulation. Boom! Not long after, the tribulation clouds rolled over, and the heavenly tribulation descended. Only when he was transcending the tribulation did he realize how terrifying the heavenly tribulation was. The purple-gold skeleton trembled at once. How could he successfully transcend the tribulation? Don't panic. We are here. The Ice Phoenix shouted. Looking at the 10 sovereign divine weapons, the purple-gold skeleton breathed a sigh of relief. The process of transcending the tribulation went smoothly. 99 heavenly tribulations were all blocked by the 10 sovereign divine weapons. A golden auspicious light descended and drowned the purple-gold skeleton. Qin Feiyang and the others were paying close attention to the changes of the purple-gold skeleton, only to see that under the golden auspicious light, the purple-gold skeleton's bones were also disintegrating little by little. The process was very slow. And the purple-gold skeleton didn't make any sound of pain during the whole process, as if it had fallen into a peaceful sleep. At the last moment, the purple-gold skeleton completely dissipated, leaving only 2 clusters of undead souls in its eye sockets. These 2 undead souls, like 2 clusters of flames, approached each other while being purified by the golden auspicious light. Because the undead souls themselves were gradually condensed from the undead energy contained in them was more powerful than the undead energy contained in the bones and flesh. More than 10 breaths later, when the undead energy of the two undead souls was completely purified by the golden auspicious light, they converged and merged with each other. At that moment, a complete divine soul appeared. Then, the change that everyone had been looking forward to finally appeared. The purple gold skeleton's bones began to be reshaped little by little. When the entire skeleton was reshaped, the whole body emitted a dazzling purple gold divine light. Each divine bone was like a precious jade, without the slightest flaw. It was also at this moment, the auspicious clouds in the sky dispersed, and the auspicious light that drowned the purple gold skeleton also merged into the bones of the purple gold skeleton like a tide. That's it? Madman was stunned. Only the skeleton was reshaped, but not the flesh and blood? Qin Feiyang couldn't help but frown. Was this considered a failure? No. If one observed carefully, they would find that at this time, there was no undead energy on the purple gold skeleton. Except for the fact that it was still a skeleton, there were no other characteristics of the undead. Brother Qin, the purple gold skeleton was also a little panicked. It had already transcended the tribulation, why didn't it create a flesh and blood body? Come down. Qin Feiyang waved his hand. The purple gold skeleton quickly landed opposite Qin Feiyang and Madman. The undead who had been waiting in line to transcend the tribulation also began to transcend the tribulation in an orderly manner. Beside the city wall, Qin Feiyang released his divine sense, enveloping the purple gold skeleton. He found that there was indeed no undead energy on the purple gold skeleton. If it weren't for this purple gold skeleton, no one would be able to tell that it was an undead. However, in any case, it didn't create a flesh and blood body. Was this a success or a failure? Wait. Suddenly, Qin Feiyang found that the soul of the purple gold skeleton was floating in the center of the skull, where the sea of consciousness was located. Although it didn't have a flesh and blood body, and although he couldn't see the sea of consciousness now, the soul had returned to the place where the sea of consciousness was. Did it mean that the purple gold skeleton was half successful? As for the other half, as long as the purple gold skeleton mastered the ultimate profound, it could naturally condense a flesh and blood body and become a real human? And in the purple gold skeleton's eye sockets, although there was no undead soul, there were two purple gold divine lights, just like two eyes. It could be said that, now, except for the fact that it didn't have a flesh and blood body, the purple gold skeleton was already a real person. Looking at the purple gold skeleton that was getting more and more anxious, Qin Feiyang comforted it, "Don't worry, we need to slowly verify this kind of unknown situation." But, the purple gold skeleton wanted to say something again. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and said, "I know you are afraid of failure, but from your current situation, you are basically developing in a good direction. Okay, I'll listen to you." The purple gold skeleton nodded. Qin Feiyang asked, "Then let me ask you, have you comprehended the epitome of the law now?" "No." The purple gold skeleton shook its head, and then said, "But in the past, I have integrated the epitome of the law of thunder, and I have almost comprehended it." "Almost?" Qin Feiyang was taken aback. "Yes. I believe it won't be long before I can comprehend the ultimate profound of the law of thunder. To be honest, I shouldn't have come to you in a hurry. If I had waited until I comprehended the ultimate profound of the law of thunder and condensed a flesh and blood body, this situation wouldn't have happened at all." The purple gold skeleton was also a little regretful. "Look at you, you are starting to be anxious again. Don't panic. I will discuss with the Chaos Royal City and see if I can let you enter the city. In my castle, there is a time of 5,000 years. As long as you enter the castle for closed-door training, you will naturally comprehend the ultimate profound faster." Qin Feiyang smiled. Really? The purple-gold skeleton was surprised. But this has to be approved by the Chaos Royal City before you can enter the castle. Qin Feiyang nodded. Quickly ask. The purple-gold skeleton was a little impatient. For an undead like it that hadn't comprehended the ultimate profound, a time array of 5,000 years in a day was also a rare opportunity. Qin Feiyang turned around and glanced at the Chaos Royal City. Only this once. But before Qin Feiyang could speak, the voice of the Chaos Royal City sounded in his mind. Thank you, Senior. Qin Feiyang was taken aback and quickly thanked him. Looking back at the Chaos Royal City, he smiled and said, "Come in." The Chaos Royal City has agreed? The purple-gold skeleton was surprised. Qin Feiyang nodded. Why didn't I hear it? The purple-gold skeleton was suspicious. Just come in when I ask you to. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Madman's face was black. Okay. The purple-gold skeleton nodded repeatedly and carefully stepped on the city wall. Looking at this scene, the undead queuing outside the city couldn't help but look envious. The Chaos Royal City had existed for so many years, but other than Qin Feiyang's group and the various demon kings, the purple-gold skeleton was the first undead to step into the Chaos Royal City. For the undead of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure, it was a great honor to be able to step into the Chaos Royal City. After stepping on the city wall, the purple-gold skeleton saw that the Chaos Royal City didn't reprimand it, couldn't help but let out a long sigh of relief. Then, it became excited. It really didn't expect to be able to step into the Chaos Royal City in its lifetime. Although it was just standing on the city wall and didn't really enter the city, it was still something that other undead couldn't reach. When it comprehended the ultimate profound, it could really get rid of its undead body. In the future, it could also show off in front of its children that it had entered the Chaos Royal City. There are cultivation rooms inside. You can choose any one. Good luck. Qin Feiyang looked at the purple-gold skeleton encouragingly. Thank you. The purple-gold skeleton was very grateful and quickly entered the ancient castle. It secretly swore that it must cherish this rare opportunity. Chapter 38-21. Half a year passed. The primal Chaos Royal City had always been a harmonious scene. No matter how many undead came, they maintained a good order and did not make any noise. This made Snow White Queen and the others and the primal Chaos Royal City very satisfied. They were afraid that Qin Feiyang and the others would turn this place into a vegetable market. But in the sky above a certain mountain, the atmosphere was extremely heavy. Bloodthirsty Demon King, Feng Tian Demon King, and Black Flame Demon King scanned the surrounding mountains and rivers, their faces filled with anger. It had been half a year, and they had not even found a single extreme Yang Thunder Fire. Normally, they did not even need to look for it personally. With a casual order, countless undead would bring the extreme Yang Thunder Fire to them. But it was different now. Not only them, all the undead in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure wanted the extreme Yang Thunder Fire. Although the undead were usually submissive to the demon kings, in the face of the temptation of the undead barrier-breaking pill, who would care about the demon king? As long as they did not bump into him, even if he had extra extreme Yang Thunder Fire, he would not give it to him. Even if he bumped into him, he would hide it. Unless it was a last resort, he would definitely not take it out. So, the three demon kings searched for so long, but they did not even see a shadow of the extreme Yang Thunder Fire. What angered them the most was Qin Feiyang. Originally, they did not need to suffer so much. They could even be the first people besides the primal Chaos Divine King to get rid of their undead bodies. But because of Qin Feiyang's targeting, they had to run around like the plague. Whether it was undead or skeletons, they would run away when they saw them. To them, it was undoubtedly a great humiliation. especially Bloodthirsty Demon King. Feng Tian Demon King and Black Flame Demon King were still fine. Although they had been tricked twice by Qin Feiyang, at least they were fine. But his body had been destroyed by the primal chaos royal city and had not been reconstructed. Thinking of this, he went crazy with hatred. Feng Tian Demon King could not bear this humiliation. He looked at Black Flame Demon King and roared, "Are we really going to continue searching like this? I don't want to." But Qin Feiyang said that we are not allowed to snatch the undead's herbs. What can I do? Black Flame Devil King said in a deep voice. Are we really not going to snatch just because he said no? When did you become so obedient? What right does he have to order us around? Demon King Feng Tian roared. But only he can refine the undead barrier breaking pill. If we continue to offend him, do you think we can successfully obtain the undead barrier breaking pill? Besides, these undead all have mouths. Won't they run to Qin Feiyang and complain? The Black Flame Demon King was also enraged. Go and find trouble with whoever you're upset with. What's the point of yelling at me? If you're just afraid that these undead will complain, it's actually very easy to deal with. You can just kill them to silence them. Bloodthirsty Demon King's eyes flashed with bloody light. The Black Flame Devil King fell silent. If he could do it cleanly and not be seen by other undead, it would be a good idea to silence them. All right. Why don't we hide our auras and hide? Right now, many undead spirits are on their way to the Chaos Royal City. As long as we restrain our auras and don't let them discover us, they won't be able to escape. In the end, the Black Flame Demon King still listened to Demon King Feng Tian's suggestion because he really didn't want to continue searching aimlessly like this. And if they didn't restrain their auras and carefully hid, when the undead sensed their auras, they would definitely immediately avoid them. Because their current situation had basically spread throughout the Sky Bell Divine Treasure, and everyone knew that they were looking for the extreme Yang Thunder Fire. Who would be stupid enough to take the initiative to come to them? At the same time, for the three of them, retracting their auras and hiding in the mountains below was also a great humiliation. Who were they? The Demon King of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. Apart from the Chaos Divine King and the Chaos Royal City, they were the strongest existence. But now, they had actually fallen to such a point where they had to hide like a mouse to meet the undead and snatch the extreme Yang Thunder Fire. This was simply trampling on their dignity. In the blink of an eye. 7 days later. Finally, a person flew over. This was a white-robed youth with a tall figure and a jade-like face, exuding an ethereal and otherworldly aura. Beside him, there was also a sovereign divine weapon. This was a khaki-colored battle shield, like a hard rock, dazzling divine light. The youth and the sovereign divine weapon did not notice that the three demon kings were hiding in the dark, flying over while chatting about something. He's here. In the dark. Black Flame Demon King and Feng Tian Demon King were shocked and raised their heads to look at the white-robed youth. Bloodthirsty Demon King was rebuilding his physical body. Hearing this, he hurriedly opened his eyes and looked at the white-robed youth. Is he so arrogant? He actually brought a sovereign divine weapon and swaggered through the streets. When the three of them saw the battle shield, they couldn't help but be stunned. But when their gazes landed on the white-robed youth again, there was a trace of doubt in their eyes. This person didn't seem to have any undead aura on him. Could it be, this person had already gone to the Chaos Royal City to exchange for the undead barrier breaking pill and become a real human? If that was the case, then this person should no longer have the extreme Yang Thunder Fire on him. However, they still didn't want to give up and held on to the hope of getting lucky. Whoosh! Without hesitation, the three of them soared into the sky like lightning and stood in front of the white-robed youth. The white-robed youth looked at the three demon kings who suddenly ran out and was slightly stunned. The battle shield was also a little stunned. They actually ran out to block their way? Feng Tian Demon King looked at the white-robed youth proudly and asked, "Do you have the Extreme Yang Thunder Fire?" Extreme Yang Thunder Fire? The white-robed youth was stunned and looked at the three of them. His expression became strange as he asked, "Recently, the undead of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure have been looking for the Extreme Yang Thunder Fire everywhere. Now that you've stopped me, are you planning to snatch the Extreme Yang Thunder Fire from me?" "So, you have the Extreme Yang Thunder Fire?" Feng Tian Demon King asked. He was rather excited. "Yes. I do. But why should I give it to you?" The white-robed youth chuckled. "What?" The three demon kings were stunned. He actually dared to speak to them with such an attitude and tone? Did he not know their identities? "Don't block the way." The white-robed youth walked forward, pushed the three of them away, and left without looking back. The three demon kings looked at each other. He directly ignored their existence. When did the dignified demon kings become so inconspicuous? "Stop!" Bloodthirsty Demon King was furious as he turned to look at the white-robed youth and shouted. The white-robed youth raised his eyebrows and stopped. He turned to look at Bloodthirsty Demon King and said with a faint smile, "Did I offend you? If so, I apologize to you. You don't know us?" Black Flame Demon King frowned. "What do you mean?" The white-robed youth looked at the three of them suspiciously and asked, "Are you very famous?" The corners of the three demon kings' mouths twitched. He really didn't know them? The three demon kings of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure actually didn't know them? He was too ignorant. Crazy. The white-robed youth shook his head and turned to leave. "You called us crazy?" The three demon kings were furious. A terrifying aura rushed out of Black Flame Demon King and Feng Tian Demon King's body and roared at the white-robed youth. "You're courting death." Battle Shield, who was following the white-robed youth, was enraged. His sovereign aura swept through the world like a volcano. "You're the ones courting death." Black Flame Demon King snorted coldly and waved his hand. The Black Flame Demon Castle charged out of his body. The sovereign aura roared in all directions and blasted at Battle Shield. The white-robed youth felt the sovereign aura and turned to look at the Black Flame Demon Castle. His eyes flashed. Clang! The two sovereign divine weapons clashed. The white-robed youth's battle shield shattered on the spot. So strong? The shattered battle shield returned to the white-robed youth's side, his heart filled with fear. What kind of sovereign divine weapon was this? How could it injure him so severely? "You still dare to be arrogant?" Black Flame Demon King waved his hand and the demon castle floated in the air. The terrifying sovereign aura pressed down on the white-robed youth and battle shield. The white-robed youth looked at the Demon King and then at Theta Wang and the others. He smiled and said, "It seems that I have to get to know you all again." "You can still smile?" The three Demon Kings frowned. Why did it look so similar to Qin Feiyang's face? The white-robed youth smiled and said, "To be able to possess a mid-level sovereign divine weapon, you must be one of the 10 Demon Kings under the Divine King of Primal Chaos. At least you have some knowledge." Bloodthirsty Demon King sneered. "Really?" The white-robed youth was stunned. The corners of his lips curled up and he said, "Then may I know your names? Why are you asking so many questions? Hand over the Extreme Yang Lightning Fire immediately and we can consider leaving your corpse intact." Flattery Demon King said impatiently. "Hand over the Extreme Yang Lightning Fire and you still want to kill us?" The white-robed youth was stunned. "Do you have a choice?" Flattery Demon King looked at him with disdain. "You guys are really unreasonable." The white-robed youth shook his head and sighed. "Cut the crap. Hurry up." Bloodthirsty Demon King raised his eyebrows. Why was there so much nonsense? The white-robed youth waved his hand, and extreme young lightning fire appeared one after another. In the end, there were more than a dozen of them. So many? The three demon kings were stunned. This was completely beyond their imagination. I didn't lie to you, did I? I do have the extreme young lightning fire. The white-robed youth smiled and put the dozen extreme young lightning fire back into the yin and yang ring. What do you mean? The three demon kings were furious. They thought that the white-robed youth was giving them the extreme young lightning fire, and they thought that the white-robed youth was tactful. However, they never thought that the white-robed youth would take it out to prove that he did have the extreme young lightning fire. The white-robed youth smiled and said, "Tell me your names first. After I know your specific identity, I can consider giving you a extreme young lightning fire." What? The three demon kings were stunned. They seriously wondered if they had heard wrongly. Giving them the extreme young lightning fire needed to consider? Moreover, after knowing that they were demon kings, the white-robed youth wasn't nervous at all and was fearless. What was going on? When did such an arrogant undead appear in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure? You're not going to say it? Then I won't accompany you. You can slowly find it yourself. The white-robed youth smiled faintly. Before the three demon kings could react, he turned around and left with the broken shield. Chapter 38-22. Damn it, you're not putting us in your eyes at all. Bloodthirsty Demon King could no longer control the killing intent in his heart. They did not dare to touch Qin Feiyang because of the restriction of the Blood Oath, the Primal Chaos Divine King and the Primal Chaos Royal City. But what did he have? A mere ant dared to be so arrogant in front of the three demon kings? You want to die? Fine. I'll grant you your wish. Clang. Accompanied by an earth-shaking explosion, a wave of blood surged out. This was a blood-colored palace. With the appearance of this palace, the world seemed to be dyed in blood, and a murderous aura enveloped the entire area. The white-robed youth raised his eyebrows again. Was there no end to this? It's useless even if you kneel down and beg for mercy now. Die for me. Bloodthirsty Demon King roared. The blood-colored hall was filled with killing intent as it charged toward the white-robed youth. Beg for mercy? The white-robed youth smiled. So what if you're a demon king from the Sky Bell Divine Treasure? War Shield said in disdain. Strange. Black Flame Demon King looked at the white-robed youth and War Shield and couldn't help but frown. What's wrong? Flattery Demon King looked at him suspiciously when he heard this. Black Flame Demon King said, "Why do I feel like they're not from the Sky Bell Divine Treasure?" They're not from the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. Flattery Demon King was shocked. If they weren't from the Sky Bell Divine Treasure, they must be from the outside world. However, why didn't Qin Feiyang mention it before? Could it be, the two seemed to have thought of something as they looked at each other? Their eyes flashed at the same time. If this person was really from the outside world, he must be Qin Feiyang's opponent because Qin Feiyang didn't mention this person at all. But even if they had such a guess, they didn't stop Bloodthirsty Demon King. Because they wanted to see how strong this person was. Could he pose a threat to Qin Feiyang? Boom! The blood-colored hall charged forward aggressively. The white-robed youth's expression didn't change as he looked at War Shield and said with a smile, "Earth Dragon Shield, go and recuperate first." Yes. The Earth Dragon Shield responded respectfully and disappeared into the body of the white-clothed young man. Earth Dragon Shield. As soon as these three words were spoken, the identity of the young man in white was also revealed. This was because the Earth Dragon Shield was the sovereign weapon of the dragons. And this white-clothed youth, without a doubt, was the son of the Ice Dragon, Long Chen. After the Earth Dragon Shield disappeared, Long Chen raised his head to look at the bloodthirsty Demon King and said indifferently, "A mid-level Dominator divine weapon won't be able to kill me. Heavenly God Sword, come out." As his voice fell, a terrifying aura suddenly surged out of his body. Following closely, a battle sword flew out. This was his sovereign divine weapon, the God Sword. The other half seemed to be condensed from ice, and the cold current was bone-piercing. The other half seemed to be made of milky white gems, sparkling and emitting a holy aura. This sovereign weapon. The moment they saw the heavenly God Sword, Demon King Black Flame and Demon King Black Flame's pupils shrank. Even the furious bloodthirsty Demon King couldn't help but shudder. Clang! The heavenly God Sword attacked, its sharp edge tearing the sky and splitting the earth. Caught off guard, the Blood Palace King was blasted away on the spot, leaving a sword mark on his body. What? It can actually hurt my body? Could it be that this sovereign divine weapon is also? The Blood Palace King was shocked. The Demon Castle was the same. Only a sovereign divine weapon of the same level could hurt them. In other words, this heavenly God Sword, like them, was also an ultimate sovereign divine weapon. How was this possible? Other than them, there were no other mid-level sovereign divine weapons in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. The Blood Palace King and the Demon Castle also realized that the human in front of them might be the same as Qin Feiyang, from the Sky Cloud Realm. Who are you looking down on? Do you know who is standing in front of you? The heavenly God Sword opened its mouth. Its words were full of disdain for the three Demon Kings, the Blood Palace King, and the Demon Castle. Demon King Black Flame looked at the heavenly God Sword and asked, "Who is he?" "You don't have the right to know. You only need to be clear about one thing, even if it's the Primal Chaos Divine King above you, if he dares to provoke us, only death awaits him." The heavenly God Sword smiled proudly. What? The three Demon Kings looked at each other. Even the Primal Chaos Divine King had no choice but to die. Bullshit. How powerful was the Divine King? She wouldn't put a mere mid-level sovereign divine weapon in her eyes. Not to mention, beside the Divine King, there was a Chaos Imperial City that was even more powerful than the mid-level sovereign divine weapon. However, regardless of whether it was a bluff or not, the person in front of them could definitely pose a threat to Qin Feiyang. The two hurriedly walked to the side of the bloodthirsty Demon King and secretly said, "Stop first." "What's wrong? Are you really scared by them?" The bloodthirsty Demon King raised his eyebrows. What kind of joke is this? So what if the heavenly God Sword is a mid-level sovereign divine weapon? Don't forget, we have 3 mid-level sovereign divine weapons. With our 3 mid-level sovereign divine weapons, how could we be scared by a brat? Demon King Feng Tian transmitted his voice. There was still a trace of disdain in his words. Because his sovereign divine weapon had not been revealed yet. If they were to really fight, the 3 sovereign divine weapons of the Demon Castle, coupled with his and the Black Flame Demon King's strength, wouldn't they be easily crushed? The Black Flame Demon King sized up Long Chen and asked, "Little brother, are you from the outside world? I finally saw it. Your reaction is too slow." Long Chen smiled faintly. The bloodthirsty Demon King didn't understand and asked in surprise, "Isn't he an undead?" "He's not an undead." The Black Flame Demon King shook his head. If it was in the past, seeing that the other party didn't have an undead aura, he would definitely dare to immediately assert that the other party was an outsider. But now, there were already many undead that had taken the undead barrier breaking pill and successfully passed the tribulation, becoming a real human. It was also because of this that the 3 Demon Kings had mistakenly thought that Long Chen was also an undead. An outsider. The bloodthirsty Demon King sized up Long Chen and instantly understood the meaning of the Black Flame Demon King and Feng Tian Demon King. With a wave of his hand, the blood-red palace broke through the air and landed above his head. The Black Flame Demon King also recalled the demon castle. Didn't you want to kill us? Why did you suddenly stop? The Sky God Sword sneered. Long Chen looked at the three demon kings with a thoughtful look. It's all a misunderstanding. A smile appeared on the Black Flame Demon King's rough face. The Sky God Sword was about to ridicule when Long Chen raised his hand to stop it. He looked at the three demon kings and smiled. The three of you should have suffered a lot in the hands of Qin Feiyang during this period of time in the Chaos Royal City. When the three heard Long Chen's words, their faces were immediately filled with surprise. How did this person know? Are you wondering how I know? Long Chen asked with a smile. Yes. The three nodded instinctively. First of all, you are looking for the extreme Yang Thunder Fire. As the three demon kings of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure, not only did you personally come out to look for the extreme Yang Thunder Fire, but you also hid your aura and hid here to rob people. What does this mean? The undead of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure are all hiding from you. You can only hide your aura and wait for the undead to come to you. Moreover, the news of the undead barrier breaking pill has already spread in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. Logically speaking, since you were the first to know about the undead barrier breaking pill, even if you came out to look for the extreme Yang Thunder Fire, you should have found it long ago. But after so long, you are still looking for the extreme Yang Thunder Fire. And look at this little friend. Long Chen looked at the bloodthirsty demon king and smiled faintly. Your physical body was destroyed, and with your strength, it is impossible for it to be caused by the undead. Little friend? The bloodthirsty demon king's face darkened and said angrily, although I look very young, in terms of age, I can be your ancestor. Be my ancestor? Long Chen was stunned and shook his head with a smile. You really can't do this. Just my father's age is estimated to be at least a few dozen times older than you. What? The bloodthirsty demon king was stunned. A few dozen times older than him? Or at least. Who dared to say such big words? I can't help it if you don't believe me. Long Chen shrugged and looked at the bloodthirsty demon king and continued, I know Qin Feiyang's strength. He is not strong enough to destroy your physical body. As for the blood ancestor, Madman Mo, and the others, they do not have this ability. So, if I am not wrong, your physical body must have been destroyed by the Divine King of Primal Chaos or the Royal City of Primal Chaos. The three demon kings looked at each other. Why did it feel like they were seeing it with their own eyes? This was too amazing. Feng Tian Demon King frowned and said, Are you related to Qin Feiyang? No. But, about Qin Feiyang refining pills in the Royal City of Primal Chaos, the undead along the way are all talking about it. Combined with the discussions of these undead and your current situation, it is not difficult to deduce the result. You have followed the Divine King of Primal Chaos for so many years. The Divine King of Primal Chaos will not easily attack you unless there is a special reason. And during this period, only Qin Feiyang and the others were in the Royal City of Primal Chaos, so this matter must have something to do with Qin Feiyang and the others. I think that Qin Feiyang and the others must have used some method to gain the recognition of the Divine King of Primal Chaos. In other words, in the eyes of the Divine King of Primal Chaos, your status is now lower than theirs. As for the undead barrier breaking pill, obviously, they are deliberately making things difficult for you, and it should be more than once. Long Chen smiled faintly. Too accurate. The three of them were shocked. To be able to deduce that they had been making things difficult for them more than once, how terrifying did one's mind have to be? One had to know. When they first made things difficult for them, Qin Feiyang and the others hadn't moved to the city wall yet, so apart from the Divine King of Primal Chaos, the Royal City of Primal Chaos and the other demon kings, no one knew about it. However, you deserve it. Why did you have to provoke Qin Feiyang and the mad scientist? Back then, my people used the power of the entire clan, but they still couldn't defeat them. Instead, they were exterminated by them. At that time, they weren't even at the imperishable realm. You can imagine how terrifying their methods are. You may admire my mind now, but let me tell you, compared to them, my mind is nothing. Long Chen shook his head. The three of them were shocked. Indeed. They really admired Long Chen's mind. But they didn't expect that even this person would feel inferior in front of Qin Feiyang and the mad scientist. It seemed that they had never seen what kind of people Qin Feiyang and the mad scientist were. They also didn't realize how terrifying the two of them were. Wait. You just said that Qin Feiyang and the mad scientist have a grudge against you? Demon King Black Flame was surprised. That's right. If it wasn't for my father appearing in time, even my mother, sister, and I would have died in their hands. To be exact, I would have died in their hands at that time. It was my father who saved me. Long Chen nodded. The three demon kings looked at each other. Wasn't this an opportunity? What was bigger than the grudge of extermination? None. This was the biggest grudge. It was irreconcilable. Either you die or I die. This person must hate Qin Feiyang and the mad scientist. So, if they asked this person for help, he would definitely not refuse. Chapter 38-23. With this thought in mind, Black Flame Demon Theta Wang looked at Long Chen with a smile on his face. Long Chen's eyes flickered, as if he had already seen through the thoughts of the three. May I know brother's name? Feng Tian Demon King asked with a smile. Long Chen. Long Chen said. Feng Tian Demon King smiled, so it's brother Long Chen, I've heard a lot about you. Long Chen was stunned. This was too hypocritical. If it was said that he was a little famous in the Sky Cloud realm, he would still believe it. After all, putting aside the identity of the son of the Ice Dragon, he was also the son of the dragons. Of course. Not many people knew about the identity of the son of the Ice Dragon. But in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure, it was as if he was just a nobody. A trace of resentment crawled up in Feng Tian Demon King's eyes as he said in a deep voice, to tell you the truth, brother Long Chen, as you guessed, we fell to this point because of Qin Feiyang and the madman. In fact, they are indeed capable. No matter where they go, they can become the focus of attention. Long Chen shook his head. Focus? We don't agree with this. The tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. If you really want to establish a foothold in a place, you have to be as low-key as brother Long Chen. Feng Tian Demon King sneered. No, I'm also very high-profile. Long Chen waved his hand. Would someone who kept a low profile run around with a sovereign-level weapon? Obviously not. Black Flame Demon King's eyes flashed with killing intent. Brother Long Chen, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Why don't we join forces to get rid of Qin Feiyang and the madman? That's right. If we join forces, we will definitely be able to kill them. At that time, you will have avenged your clan. Bloodthirsty Demon King nodded. Join forces? Long Chen was slightly taken aback, seemingly surprised by the proposal of the three. But was it really unexpected? No. When the three of them revealed their killing intent towards Qin Feiyang and the madman, all of this was within his expectations. Furthermore, if he guessed correctly, the three people in front of him should be the targets of Qin Feiyang's trap. The three demon kings were so naive that they were adorable. One had to know that even Qin Feiyang and the madman were afraid of Long Chen. However, the three of them had overestimated themselves and came to make use of him. Weren't they just looking for trouble? The Black Flame Demon King looked at Long Chen's surprised expression and said with a smile, Brother Long Chen, you must be thinking that with our strength, we can easily kill them. Why don't we do it ourselves? Yes. Long Chen nodded. Because we were forced to swear a blood oath. With Brother Long Chen's understanding of Qin Feiyang and the others, you should know about the blood oath, right? The Black Flame Devil King sighed. I see. Long Chen suddenly understood. Feng Tian Demon King's eyes turned as he looked at Long Chen and said, May I ask Brother Long Chen, can the blood oath really destroy the sovereign divine weapon? Yes. Long Chen nodded. The three of them looked at each other, their eyes filled with fear. Originally, they were still hoping for a fluke. Although the blood oath could kill the undead, it might not be able to destroy the sovereign divine weapon. After all, the sovereign divine weapon in their hands were all mid-level sovereign divine weapons, which were much stronger than the undead. But now, hearing Long Chen's reply, they no longer dared to underestimate him. Long Chen pondered for a moment and nodded. It's not impossible to join forces, but Qin Feiyang and the madman are both in the Chaos Imperial City. Unless you can lure them out, with my strength, it's impossible to kill them under the nose of the Divine King and the Chaos Imperial City. Regarding this, I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint Brother Long Chen. The Black Flame Devil King sighed. What do you mean? Long Chen was suspicious. The Black Flame Devil King said, they also made a blood oath that before the Sky Bell Divine Treasure ends, they cannot leave the Chaos Imperial City. They can't leave the Chaos Imperial City? Long Chen was surprised. He really didn't know about this. Because when the ancient castle contacted the Heavenly God Sword, it only asked them to help and didn't say anything. Yes. This is their agreement with the Divine King. The Divine King was afraid that they would plunder the Sky Bell Divine Treasure and destroy the balance of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure, so he trapped them in the Chaos Imperial City. But I didn't expect. I don't know what method they used, but they actually obtained the approval of the Divine King and openly made a deal with the undead of our Sky Bell Divine Treasure in the Chaos Imperial City. I won't hide it from Brother Long Chen. During this period of time, they used the undead barrier breaking pill to obtain a large number of law miniatures from the undead of our Sky Bell Divine Treasure. Brother Long Chen, you're a smart person. You should know that if they continue to trade with the undead like this, how terrifying will it become in the future? The Black Flame Devil King said in a deep voice. I didn't expect that they would use this method to collect the law miniatures of the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. This is much more convenient than finding it by themselves. Long Chen mumbled. They're indeed treacherous. In front of them, these demon kings are probably just like little kids. They'll be toyed around with. The Heavenly God Sword thought. Although these devil kings are strong, they're still lacking when compared to Qin Feiyang and the others. Long Chen transmitted his voice. Then what should we do now? Should we continue to cooperate with Qin Feiyang or destroy Qin Feiyang's plan? Although the three devil kings want to use us, they're not wrong about one thing. If we let Qin Feiyang continue to trade with the undead like this, who knows how many law miniatures he can collect in the end? This kind of thing, whether it's for you personally or for the entire dragons, is not a good thing. The Heavenly God Sword was quite worried. Although Qin Feiyang didn't have many subordinates around him, each of them was loyal to Qin Feiyang. And the reason why Qin Feiyang was frantically collecting the law miniatures was certainly for these people. If these people could obtain the law miniatures and comprehend the ultimate meaning, in the future, no one in the Sky Cloud realm would be able to shake Qin Feiyang's position. Long Chen pondered for a while and suddenly smiled in relief. He transmitted his voice, let's talk about the future later. Besides, even if we can get the law miniatures, we may not be able to comprehend the ultimate meaning. You're too calm. If it were the Dragon King, he would definitely be anxious. The Heavenly God Sword was speechless. Our future enemy is not Qin Feiyang. I don't need to say this, you should know. Moreover, a man must keep his word. Since we've already promised Qin Feiyang, we naturally have to do it. Long Chen secretly smiled. Future enemy, the heavenly god sword murmured and asked, is the divine kingdom really that strong? I don't know. But I heard from my father that this divine kingdom is not simple. You know my father's strength. If even he said it's not simple, then it definitely can't be underestimated. Long Chen transmitted his voice. All right. You decide. The heavenly god sword didn't say anything else. Long Chen looked up at the three devil kings and frowned. I know Qin Feiyang too well. Not to mention a blood oath, even if it's just a verbal promise, they won't break it. If they don't leave the Chaos Royal City, how can I deal with him? Regarding this, we already have an idea in mind. Devil King Black Flame said. I'd like to hear the details. Long Chen smiled. He has a few companions with him. Devil King Black Flame waved his hand, and the phantoms of White-Eyed Wolf, Princess Wufeng, Fire Qilin, Tan Wu, and Hell God Hound appeared. Long Chen looked at their phantoms and asked suspiciously, you want to make a move on them? Smart. These people are now training in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure. Although we can't do it ourselves, we can help you find their whereabouts. Once we find their whereabouts, I believe that with your strength, it'll be easy to kill them. At that time, you might even be able to use these people to force Qin Feiyang and the others to leave the Chaos Royal City. Once they lose their minds in anger and leave the Chaos Royal City, we won't even need to do anything. The Blood Oath's heavenly tribulation can directly kill them. Devil King Black Flame sneered. Good plan. Long Chen gave him a thumbs up. Devil King Black Flame's expression had a hint of pride as he asked, how about it? Do you want to work with us? Sure. Long Chen nodded and smiled. But what benefits can I get? Benefits? Devil King Black Flame was stunned and frowned. Killing them means you can avenge your people. Isn't this a good thing for you? Of course it's a good thing. But today, you guys came to me for help. Naturally, you should give me a corresponding reward. Long Chen smiled. Reward? The three of them raised their eyebrows. Tell me the truth. Although I have a grudge against them, I don't want to be enemies with them at all because they are too difficult to deal with. So, if there isn't a reward that moves me, I will definitely not do this. You guys can consider it carefully. There's no need to force yourself. Long Chen shook his head. Wasn't this Qin Feiyang's plan? He wanted to take the opportunity to make the three devil kings suffer a double loss. At that time, they wouldn't even have a place to complain. When the three of them heard this, they couldn't help but have a trace of anger in their eyes. To be honest, they were helping this person to avenge his people. Not only did he not thank them, he even asked them for a reward. The most excessive thing was, bearing the grudge of his people's extermination, he actually said that he didn't want to be enemies with Qin Feiyang and the others. This was too weak. He was simply an idiot. What do you guys think? Devil King Black Flame transmitted his voice. Devil King Feng Tian pondered for a while and secretly said, this person is our only hope now. We might as well rely on him for now. I agree too. At most, after we get rid of Qin Feiyang and the others, we can get rid of him. Devil King Bloodthirsty transmitted his voice. Okay. Devil King Black Flame nodded, looked up at Long Chen, and said, we will give you the epitome of two strongest laws. Long Chen was stunned. Sword God was also a little confused. Epitome of two strongest laws. Were they trying to make him a beggar? Not to mention anything else, just talking about the years they spent in the Sky Bell Divine Treasure, plundering the universe rings and treasure vaults of the undead, they didn't lack these two epitome of laws. Is it not enough? Devil King Black Flame frowned. Isn't this obvious? I have Sword God in hand. It's just two epitome of laws. Can't I find it myself? Longchen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.